Alright, hello gamers, welcome back to the show. I'm your charming, self-proclaimed, yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today we are back in the wonderful world of Guild Wars 2. Which is Tyria, by the way, did you know that? Hello there. Welcome back, one and all. I am on the EU servers right now, and I honestly don't have plans. I do not have plans. Just going to mess around and have some fun. We'll just see what happens, that's it. Everyone's my favorite day of the week. What's up, Soap? Evening, beautiful people. Hello, Hamza. I'm working on Legendary Gloves, just started really getting into the game 2 weeks ago after years of owning the game, farming these Quickplay Fractals for this quest for it. Oh, you're working on Acacia. Yeah, that is a big potato, Neof. Yeah, Acacia is currently the easiest Legendary to get in the game, in my opinion. So those are good ones to go for sure. Finally finished my Obsidian light set. Nice! Some days just start that way. Where's the bandit box? There it is. And grab that. Is this a new expansion map? This is the homestead that was added in Janthier Wilds. Morning, Mark Chat. Hi, Vox. Alright. Deposit all of that. And Guild Hall. When are you doing the Craftlock challenge for expansions? I don't know. Dude, I'm so behind on that because we did the Craftlock thing in October and I still haven't finished making the episodes. I actually recorded Craftlock 7. There's going to be 10 episodes. I recorded Craftlock episode 7 over the weekend and put that in Noxxi's inbox. So that one's in Noxxi's queue. But yeah, when I wrecked my voice, that really slowed me down. Plus the fact that in the Craftlock episodes, you know, I talk like, welcome to Hardcore Craftlock episode 7, you know, like just as deep as possible. It was kind of like a running gag. And now, like, when I'm recording one of those, I have to kind of do it in breaks. Whereas before, I could just, you know, just do the whole thing in one sitting. How hard is Neo 3 versus Kazan? I mean, very similar. Like, if you hate Souls-likes, don't play either one. If you liked one of them, you might like both. But, you know, Neo 3 is more of like a Eastern mythology thing. Like, you know, like yin and yang and samurais and ninjas and stuff like that. Whereas Kazan is like, you know, guy fighting demons and ripping them apart like he's Doom Guy. But they both play very similarly. But like Neo, the final boss of the demo took me like 30 minutes to an hour of attempts. And before I got it. Like it was, you know, there was some very tight dodge and parry timings. And if you miss one, you'd get chunked for like 50% of your health or more. I found this one armor early on in Neo 3, and it's like whenever you successfully dodge an attack, you recover a bit of health. That was really helpful. Because, like, I was good enough to often be able to dodge attacks, but I wasn't perfect. So getting hit, like, an occasional time, and then getting a lot of dodges would, like, recover that health. It was very helpful. Your throat needs a nice holiday? Yeah. Dude, it's freaking miserable. I can't eat or drink any of my favorite foods or drinks. And it's just like constant annoyance for a couple months now. Mike, if I may ask, what is Bether getting only in one guild or more than one? I think I understand your question. So you can just be in one guild, that's fine. But Guild Wars 2 does let you be in up to 6. It's like, for example, for the guilds I'm in is mainly just for gathering each day. There's maybe 2 that I socialize in. You know, like I talk in the guild chat and stuff like that. But it's mostly just mooching the benefits, you know? You might join one because you world v world with him once a week. You might join another because you raid with him once a week. You know, you might join another just to farm the nodes. It just depends on what you need from them. Morning all. Hey, Rajani. Morning all. Hi, Vox. Alright, that's all the guild hall nodes. Let's check the gobbler. Alright, now for the alts. I understand that, Ma, I am in a friend guild, Ma. The have to resource everything. Still do suggest I look for other guild for farming. You can be farming resources from up to 5 guilds as long as they have different levels of resource nodes. Resource nodes come in either level 0, upgrade 1, 2, 3, or 4. So 0 to 4, 5 total. But you don't have to. Like, if you like farming them each day like I do, then it's great. But if you don't want to do that, then, you know, don't do that. Some of this out. When did you start playing games with Minimuk? Like computer games? I assume you mean? Because like games with him, just like playing with him, like when he was very little. I don't know. I don't know. I remember when he was like little, like when he would sit in my lap and his head wouldn't block my vision. Like some of my oldest streams, he's sitting in my lap. It's like, and he would like give me his input, which was sometimes terrible. Like, oh, you should go that way. You should do this. You should do that. I remember my first playthrough of Subnautica on this channel. He was basically in my lap the whole time. He liked it. Subnautica when he was like 6? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because he just turned 14. And we've streamed for over 7 years straight. And the first year I was streaming, he was occasionally in my lap watching me play and stuff. We're getting old AF. Yeah, it happens. Mug, D2 got a new class? I know, dude. I remember playing D2 when it came out, and if someone told me, hey, there's a new class coming out in 26 years, I would have been like, I'll be dead. It doesn't matter. That's pretty crazy. You look young for having a 14-year-old? Thank you. I'll take it. Is there a parking location to speed up the new legendary ring? Mm-hmm. Like these mirrors, basically. The mirrors, if you... Hang on. They give you a bit of the map currency each day. More if you actually fly around and use these ethereal key charges, but even just doing the mirror each day, you get some of that map's currency. So having one or more alts at mirrors in each of the 2 new Visions of Eternity zones gives you the daily currency every day that you need for the VOE legendaries. For, I think it's Gift of the Survivors and Gift of the People. Is it worth farming 5 guild halls a day? I mean, the point of the game is to have fun. So if you find it to just be insufferable, then no. But if you don't mind it, like, I like doing it while I chat with you guys, and that gives me, like, a constant, you know, income stream. So I'm okay with it. Mug, are you interested in checking out Mugenics? I believe you'd have a great time. I don't know much about it. I do know that it recently beat Hades 2 for having the highest concurrent amount of players. I saw that on Twitter. It had a moment where it had like 115,000 people playing it or something like that.
Take the Bezos money. Love all your content, Muck. Been enjoying your Alan Wake stuff ATM, currently on beginning of Alan Wake 2, just got past the Grand Odin and Tor concert bit.
Yeah, that was
Keep
great.
up the great work.
Thank you, Sukrin. Yeah, Control 2 coming out soon. Well, I don't know how soon is soon, but Control 2 is on the way, which is in that universe. Thought your audience was your revenue stream? Keep in mind, though, I only heavily play Guild Wars 2 one day a week now, and I do massive giveaways every Tuesday. A big part of how I pay for those giveaways is this routine that I do each day. Let's see. Alright, that's done. Yeah, as far as Mugenics... Here, hang on a sec. I actually don't know anything about it. Okay. I'm not hooked by the trailer, but I know a lot of people love it.
Hey, look, it's the Tree of Birds. How are you today?
Hi, Bertree. It's a tactics game from the makers of Binding of Isaac. Oh man, I did not like Binding of Isaac. I played that one on stream for like an hour or two, and then I put it down and I never played it again. I just finished Mount Balrior Convergence to open my friends list for LFG. I saw Muck bonk, and the name made me laugh so much I don't know why. Hey y'all, hey Zonix. You can also get map currency from PvP and World v World Reward tracks if you do either of those. That is true. That is true. We were talking about alt parking, though. That's why I was responding to that. But yes, that is correct. Is Tuesday Guild Wars 2 is expecting Enshrouded? I would love to play Enshrouded, but have to visit Tyria once a week. Let's see if anyone's doing this. What hooks you on a trailer? Does the trailer make me want to play the game? That's what hooks me. I just finished Mount Balrior Convergence to open my friends list for LFG. Oh. Let's see. Okay. Looks like some people are doing this one. Let's try this. Heal DPS Untamed. Bro, I just got here. Calm down. Why is there 4 plates of the peppercorn soup? AoE res right here. Gaming, we're doing all right.
It's gathered strength from the ghosts. Hit it harder.
I've used all my CC.
Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Why am I getting revived? I got revived for like 2 pulses. Have to visit Tyria once a week. That sounds like an ex with required time they need to spend with their kids. Well, you know, Tyria does have like 50% custody of me, so. Can I render the boss, please? Thank you. Gosh. Oh my God, yes, you need stability like every couple of seconds on this boss. I do not have enough of it. Unless you're interrupting what you're doing to jump or dodge repeatedly. Straight up having a bad time right now. There we go. There we go. Hard part down. Maybe an old Ellie geyser. Oh, when I got a few revive ticks after death? Yeah, maybe.
Were we as lucky?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
My son will envy the tales I tell of this fight.
Am I still in combat?
Fine.
Why am I still in combat? Monk, aside from certain raids, metas, and fractals that have kill on contact mechanics that you can't heal through, how close are we with boons to be able to ignore all fight mechanics and just heal and DPS? I mean, you basically just said it. Aside from certain fights, which have kill on contact mechanics you can't heal through, then, yeah. Like, for example, Cairn. Cairn is a raid boss. He has a mechanic where you need to go run and stand in green circles, but if you have stability, you can ignore it. He has a mechanic that's like a shotgun, but it doesn't hit if you're right close to him, because he's like nearsighted. So if you just stand really close to him, that's trivialized. So if you're standing close to the boss and you have stability access, then you can essentially ignore completely 2 of his mechanics. Agony does too much damage to keep it in the raid, so you still have to move that out of the group. So that is a mechanic that you have to do. It's not an instant kill, but it's enough damage that you don't want it to just stay in the group. But yeah, there's quite a few. Greetings all. Hey Corwin. EU or NA? EU right now. I'm working on Obsidian Armor. Has anyone ever seen Charmon and Lear in the same room? Because Lear's always wanting the purple balls. Yeah, so it also depends on the fight.
Conjuring a portal now. I don't want to risk using the scepter again before we reach the interior chamber. Use your warclaw chains the Kansan siege turtles provided, and whatever else you have. I'll keep the portal open.
As an ANET partner, do you bypass the 7-day cap between swapping? Yes. One of the few little privileges that they give me is the ability to server swap anytime as long as I don't abuse it. So often when I stream in the morning, it's like more EU people are awake in gaming, so I play with them. And when I stream in what is the evening for me, the opposite is true, so I play on NA. If you're running heal writ with relic, which relic do you recommend? Also, are monk runes okay for that? There are many flavors of heal writ. The bottom line is this: do you have enough concentration to keep your boons up all the time? If yes, then you've got enough of that. Healing power is because there's like heal writ, there's DPS writ, and there's DPS heal writ where you're trying to do like both. But if you just use like, if your just goal is healing, if you just use like Givers or Minstrels or Harriers, you're gonna be fine. As far as Relic, I would need to go back and check the, dude, the lights, oh my god. I would need to go back and check my Necro to see what Relic I had on him. I don't recall if I had to get a certain boon from the Relic. Because relics typically solve one of two things. Either they fill a hole that you're missing. Like, if you can't provide Fury, there's a relic for that. If you can't give your group Swiftness, there's a relic for that. But if you're covered on all the boons, you could just take, like, Relic of the Monk or something and just up your healing power. Why'd you choose Druid as your healer? It has 3 different ways of battle resing people every like 50 seconds, so it's a really good crutch if you're playing with people you don't know that are probably going to make mistakes. And I also just like having the animal friend and the nature theme. Are all your characters Asura? There's a one that's not, because he's like 14 years old, so he gets the old birthday presents. Someone do quick play raids, question mark. I have done quick play raids, yes. Do you have a question about them? Or are you asking if someone's doing them right this second?
touches, even in this dismal place.
See those nodules connected to the organ? They're brimming with the Titan's magic. If we destroy them, the organ should fail. Let's
Both
see
would be
what
my
happens
first
when we
one.
take
Gotcha.
off the board.
Well, if you feel like you're nervous going into it, if you do exclamation strikes, because that's what they used to be called. I have got guides for every single raid boss you'll run into in there, and you can learn the fights in like 30 seconds. So if you want to have that page open and you queue for something, if you get something you don't know, you can just watch the video really fast, and then you're good.
And more of those good. The
Can I
organ is
join
not to
Quick
fall.
Play without something
Destroy
special?
the
Yeah.
other nodules.
In Quick Play, they give you
Once
a
they're gone,
massive,
have them use
massive
the
buff
doggo to do some damage
because
of
they
their own.
know that it's possible to queue in and not have a healer at all. So you have like very high health and toughness, very high life stealing, and you can operate without a healer on most of them. It's because it's essentially like training for like harder raids, right? It's meant to get people interested and not be too scary. All right. Are the rewards worth doing the quick play raids over doing like TDAV metas? Well, quick play. Hey, Maddie, what's up? The quick play raids give you, the loot from the quick play raid itself, and then also there is a weekly achievement to do up to 10 quick play raids. And in total, it gives you, if you do all 10, you get 6 LI, and you get like 8 boxes of bonus loot. So you might find it to be even more worth it if you haven't done that yet. Also, the Icebrood Saga strikes give their rewards each day. So, like, if you do a couple of quick play raids and you get the stuff that was Icebrood Saga strikes on day 1, then you do a couple more quick play raids, and even if you get the same ones, if they were Icebrood Saga, you'll get that daily loot again on day 2, and so on and so on.
An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Deep Fried Pork Rectums.
Thanks. Just remember, chat, whenever you hear something like that, Twitch said that's okay. Alright, commander tag, which one's next? Weird choice, but okay. Where do I join Quickplay raids? You click the LFG up here, looking for group. Raids, training, find a Quickplay group. You can do it from anywhere. Not Aerodrome? No. Aerodrome, for if you want to do raids that are not Quickplay, the Aerodrome can be accessed for that. I used all my combat reses there to get all those people up. Where can I buy these starters for LI? What do you mean starters? For 7-hour food? Oh, if you are just starting out, like getting LI, I would not spend it on that. But the answer to your question is they're on merchants in the Aerodrome.
That's the last one. Leave the rest to me. Legavo, the binding of wills. Strike at this abomination.
Legavo.
The Titan shouldn't recover from that anytime soon.
I don't even think she did anything.
I hate to ask more of you, Commander, but our
What are your
other
3
forces
combat
could use
reses?
support if you're
Search
able.
and Rescue, Healing Spring, and the Elite. No, Healing Spring is not a combat res. Okay, Search and Rescue. We'll find someone within 600 radius, pull them to me, and the pet reses them. The second one is Allies Aid, which is if I walk up to someone, I hit the F key, and I start reviving them, it triggers a second Search and Rescue. So, basically, I start rezzing, the pet starts rezzing, and then they're getting double rezzed. I could just tap F and then interrupt myself, and the pet will still finish getting them up. And Glyph of the Stars, if I'm in astral form, it rezzes everyone in that circle. It does like a rezzing every second for 6 seconds in a circle. And all of those are either 48 or 60 second cooldowns. Okay. Oh, wait. I thought we were done. They still haven't finished north yet. So we haven't even gotten like the box for the whole map. Why you don't would buy them? The 7-hour thing? Because you can use LI to like legendary insights to get things like legendary armor. Getting things like extended duration food is something that people that already have like everything else they possibly want with LI, that's what they would spend it on. Oh, did they finish it? Dude, why are they all running around over here? Screwing with me. Okay. Let's see. Wield. I really want to save fractal currency for the infinite fractal potion. I missed the vault season. You could buy them. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, dude, I had multiple YouTube videos where I was like, buy this thing. Like, you don't understand how crazy it is that this is on the Wizard Vault. I was yelling from the rooftops.
So that's my idea. I'll gather up the primary and head due west to the forest.
Muck, what are your thoughts on Dawn of War 2? I mean, it was fine. I mean... How can I explain this? Alright. Vibes and story, it was awesome. Because Warhammer 40k is pure testosterone, okay? Gameplay, it was baby's first RTS, right? You control like 4 or 5 units. I'm used to StarCraft 2, where you control 200, okay? So, that was nothing. On top of that, you know, everyone basically full heals out of combat. There's not really any resources. There's no building. You can't make a base. Like, it's none of that. Additionally, when we played Dawn of War 2 Retribution, there's 6 campaigns, and I got really excited. So we played the orcs first. Wah! And we beat the orc campaign. And then we started a Tyranid one. And the first level was the same. And the second level was the same. And I was like, wait. Are all the campaigns the same missions? It just changes who you're playing? And people were like, yep. And I haven't played it since. Like, I was so incredibly disappointed by that. So, I mean, it was fine. But, yeah, it was a product of its time. There was a lot of people that told me, like, I was like, dude, you know, I'm kind of bored because it's like, this isn't taking much brain power. Controlling 4 units and not having a base to micro, like, this is not requiring much of me. And people are like, oh, don't worry, they added base building and Retribution, and like, what they seem to all forget is they added it in multiplayer in Retribution, not in the campaign. We beat the whole campaign and didn't get to build a single thing. So, yeah, I finished one of the campaigns, realized the other 5 campaigns were the exact same thing, and then I stopped.
Scrambling to shield it. Break them out.
It's crazy the fact they removed the Omni Potion. Why not make it permanently obtainable? It's been permanently obtainable for years. The thing in the Wizard's Vault was you could temporarily get it for a, like, 100th of the price. And honestly, I thought that was an error, because that was insane. But yeah, it is still obtainable. It's just incredibly difficult to get it. You just need thousands and thousands and thousands of fractal currency.
Back to work.
incredibly difficult. Just do some fractals here and there. It's not here and there. You need, dude, to get the infinite mist omni potion from fractals, you need thousands of currency to buy all the 3 other omni potions and combine them. Now, dude, I have it. I have both omni potions, in fact. But if you're talking to someone who's never done fractals, yeah, it's a big ask. Imagine going for Fractal God. I did go for Fractal God for like a couple of months, and then I got bored. So I've got like Fractal middle management right now, whatever it is. It's a grind? Yep. It's like doing all Fractal dailies and Rex and the challenge modes every day for like almost a year or something like that to get Fractal God. Fractal Sales Associate, there we go. I hate the excavators, yeah. Yeah, they knock you around a lot. I do not have enough stability to block all of it.
Destroy the big one so we can finish this.
God, I hate Mistral. Freaking ice bubble spell. I told you guys a while back I was gonna make a video on visual clarity problems in the game. I recorded that video yesterday. It's in the queue. Stinky Untamed. I said that I thought the top problems were Mechanist Mechs, Ritualist Spirits, and then I had Untamed after that. And then I listed off spells that covered red circles on the ground, so it sabotages your teammates. And in that section, I did mention Untamed, I mentioned Engineer Shortbow, I mentioned Mistral from Gale Shot. Like, for example, the Gale Shot one, it looks like a bubble, but it's the only bubble in the game that doesn't block projectiles, so that trolls your team. And it covers red circles on the ground so you can't see them, so it trolls your team twice. Did you add Blinded by the Light as background music? Oh, that's for when we talk about Luminary with their light aura explosions. Oh, wow. We had 8 seconds.
The devices are now fully disabled.
Can other players see Scrapper Blast Arrow circles? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those don't cover red circles on the ground, so those are fine.
Surely this isn't the end of our surprises for the day.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, let me give you an example here. Okay. All right. Staff ambush. Oh, Awesome. It didn't even render it. There's too many people here. Okay. Hold on. 10 seconds, I can do it again.
What they were trying to do.
Alright, staff ambush.
I'm detecting
Bro,
anomalous
what in the
magical
hell is
readings in
happening?
this area.
It's like not even rendering it. What are we up to? I don't know. My game's just broken. Alright, there. So there's the gunk, right?
Noticeably larger.
You see, if I look at it from the side, the gunk is like 3 feet deep. If it was just a texture on the ground, it wouldn't be as bad.
Magical readings bear a
But
similarity to those emitted by the Seneschal Keelah.
it's like a player's height deep as far as like the spell effect. I'm not sure why, but it is.
Why would the Inquest want to summon this?
I have a guess. Seb wants to control it.
Well, I'm certainly opposed to that plan.
News at 11, Muck's broken. Mm-hmm. So just a glyph of the stars, so at any time DPS are going down from this blender, they're just getting instantly revived.
It's repositioning. A clever tactic.
Muck's broken his voice for his game. It's more than that. Dude, I'm falling apart. Yeah, there's a running joke in my household that Guild Wars 2 broke my feet and now my voice, because like when we went on that trip to Seattle where I went to like the meet and greet and I was basically just like moving around for like 25 hours straight. Hang on, is this gonna interrupt me? Like ever since then I had like severe foot pain and I had to get like go to a place and like ended up getting orthotics. And then we had the day where I did the 18-hour stream and then like damaged my voice. It's 2 months later and I'm still on medication for that. So 2 different instances, both related to Guild Wars 2. Like I overdid something and like broke something. Has it broken your spirit? No. That's fine.
Unclear. We appear to be moving, however.
Stay alert. We're not done yet.
Fake ground there, the layer heights are different because moving platform. Oh, for the untamed ambush thing?
Illusions.
Yeah, maybe.
Just like the ones in the forest. Need to find the real one. And glyph of the stars, mass res everyone.
Some people saw me, they're being nice. It's cute. What would Guild Wars 3 char look like? You know what would be funny? Let's say they do make a Guild Wars 3. And let's say it's like 100 years in the future. And you go to the screen where you choose your playable race, and char is not an option. And they just don't address it. Oh, and while I'm talking about it, horses are an option, and they don't address it. There's no char, but horses are back, and there's no mention of what happened there. Horse people? No, just horses. Like as mounts. Like you might occasionally hear like a dialogue like, oh yeah, the char, they were eating all the horses. We put a stop to that. Playable horse? I didn't say a playable horse. Who was that? Streaming, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Prime sub given thanks to the content, man. Yo, really appreciate that. We were doing the math yesterday, chat. There was a new game I wanted, and I was like, oh, this is gonna cost me 15 primes. I pay my bills in primes.
Perhaps they intend to assist us.
It was Neo 3, by the way. Forget $70 game.
Best we dispatch them before they can implement their plan.
It's funny, they had a demo that you could play to see if you liked it, and we played the demo, and I was like, dang it, I love it. My wife was hoping I would hate the demo so that I wouldn't buy a $70 game. I was like, sorry, honey, it's amazing. YouTube subs don't matter. YouTube subs and Twitch followers absolutely matter. However, that's just the free button. Those basically just is a way of you clicking a button saying, hey, I'm interested in this guy's content, and YouTube or Twitch will send you more of it. And yeah, that helps me out long term because, you know, you will see more of my stuff. But when I was specifically talking about primes, it was because, like, each time someone uses a prime, I get a few bucks. And so I was talking about how last night we did the math to figure out how many prime subs would equal a copy of Neo 3. For YouTube, the equivalent would be memberships. When we play Neo 3. We finished the demo, which was like 5.5 hours long. And I killed the bosses of the demo. Very fun. I enjoyed it. I'll probably play it in the evening after we finish Ixion. Dude, do you see this? I am still getting pulled back by a non-existent thing. If I remember correctly, I made my conflux referring to your YouTube video in 2019. Nice. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm proud of. Is I've got a guide for every single legendary and boss in the game for people that want a video format.
It's repositioning. A clever tactic.
The new raid boss, currently in the middle of, I've recorded that guide. Noxxi, our wonderful editor, is currently working on that one.
I wouldn't get too close to those gates if I were you.
what games are you currently playing? In the morning stream? Okay, so Tuesday we do Guild Wars 2, every Tuesday. On morning streams outside of Tuesday, I'm currently playing Enshrouded. And in evenings, we're currently working on Ixion. And I'm gonna do Neo 3 after that. Oh, bunny. Did you get a Neo 3 key? I did in a weird way. Yesterday we were doing Mutiny Monday. Mutiny Monday is kind of like a fun fundraiser type thing. Like, basically, I'll be playing a game and anyone who like donates to the stream or something can make something terrible happening to me in the game, so people can troll me with their wallets. So last night I was playing Riftbreaker, and in Riftbreaker, if you like do a sub or a membership or a Patreon or something like that, you can like spawn a tornado on me or take half my money and stuff like that. And I was talking about how I had contacted Neo and I was trying to get a free key to save my money, but I hadn't heard back from him yet. And someone in chat is Nogdog. He goes, "How many disasters would Neo be in the game?" And I was like, 15? And he's like, okay. And he gifted me Neo on Steam. And he's like, I want 15 Kermit attacks. And I was like, oh, God. And I died like a minute later from his attack. But he had his laugh. I got my Neo. A Kermit attack is like an attack wave of invisible dudes. And he sent 15 of them at once. So it was just like a tidal wave of invisible death. It's what this was from. Hang on. Oh wait. Oh no. I'm thinking of the never mind. I thought I had on my soundboard the invisible dude thing. That was a patron. That wasn't me. Do you like Sekiro? Actually, I quit Sekiro. I might have to try it again someday. I like Souls games. Sekiro's the only Souls game I've ever played that I didn't enjoy. So I might have to try it again someday, now that I've gotten a little gooder. Because, like, I've cleared Dark Souls 3, I've cleared Elden Ring, Lies of P, Lords of the Fallen, Black Myth Wukong, First Berserker Kazan. Like, all those, I completely cleared them. I don't know, Sekiro, I didn't like it. I think part of it is that Sekiro, you can't customize your character, really. You are dude with sword. You're not doing a sorcery run, or a faith run, or a pyromancy run, or an archery run. You are dude with sword. You don't like it? Quit. That's it. So I think that was part of it. You ever tried Bloodborne? No, because it's not on PC and I don't own any consoles. Oh, I also played Armored Core 6. I think that was hold on. What number Armored? The Rubicon one. Hang on. 6. Yes, I played Armored Core. Does Armored Core 6 count as a Souls-like? It's kinda. It's like mech Souls-like. It's not that hard though. Although there was one boss in Armored Core that the Armored Core community calls the Filter, because it makes a lot of people quit the game. And I did beat that game. Sorry, I did beat the Filter, but it took me like over an hour. And then like the next week they nerfed it like really hard, so I got a pre-nerf kill in it. Did you get to New Game Plus Plus or just stop at the first end? On Armored Core, I went all the way through because chat told me that there was more story.
It seems we have loads back to sleep. Good enough. It puts a stop to the Inquest's immediate plans, at least.
I will forever love my wheelchair mech with 4 Gatling cannons. Yeah, I liked the mech that were like the bottom half of it was like a tank treads. So it's like zooming around on wheels.
Don't think it counts if you're always complaining.
It was Baltrius, I think. I remember Noxxi did a video. Hang on. Noxxi did a video making fun of me in that one. Okay, here, this is it. This is it. How long is it? This is 2 minutes. Probably not watched the whole thing. Hang on. One sec.
We're done here. Head back to base.
That's not what Twitch chat says.
Raven.
That was my character. Big old tank with a torso on top. Eh? Wait, what? Tank base is terrible for moving? Yeah, I found that out.
And maintain contact.
Oh, this guy? I saw him in the trailer. Oh, no. Yeah, so Noxxi made a music video of me dying to this thing. Hold on, I'll skip ahead a minute. Holy crap. Hold on, was this the last one? Where was it? So, double knockout. I finally beat it and we killed each other.
Enemy systems down. It's silent.
3 double knockouts. Oh, 3. There was 3 times that he and I killed each other, but on the last one, it counted for me. Yeah. That was a fun one. But yeah, it was definitely easier when I finally changed the parts, but yeah, I stubbornly kept going for a long time with the tank base just because I liked it. What's harder to make if got Skyscale through Living World Season 4, Vision or Aurora? What's harder? I mean, you need the Skyscale Living World Season 4 masteries to make Vision. Aurora is not really related to the Skyscale at all. But which one's harder to make? I mean, I think Aurora might take... But they both have time gates. Aurora's time gate might be longer. You needed stability there? I needed swiftness there. Once I changed the base, then I was able to, like, outrun his attacks. Mark, as much as I love Guild Wars 2, I'm becoming a bit burned out and I have no idea what I can do to make it more enjoyable at the moment. I have loads to complete on it, but no motivation. Any advice to help me getting stuck in again? Take a break. Absolutely take a break. You're getting burned out on it. It's a game. It is a game. The point of it's to have fun. If you feel like you're having to force yourself to play it, you need to take a break. It is not the kind of game that will like get away from you and you have to catch up later. It'll be exactly where it was when you come back to it, and you can, you know, go get refreshed, play something else for a little bit, and then come back to it with, you know, recharged. Yeah, like I myself did that. I used to stream this game seven days a week, and that was fine for a couple years. But then I got burned out. You know, I love the game, but I've done everything in it 100 times. So when I got to a point where I was just like, you know, I'm starting to kind of hate this, I took a break, and now I stream it. You know, I devote 1 day a week to it, and then when there's like new content patches and stuff, then I'll do like a week. But that's my honest advice, is do not force yourself to just keep slamming into it. It's something that many people forget sometimes, is, especially League of Legends players, is the point of gaming is to have fun. And if you're not having fun, evaluate what you're doing. Maybe you need to play a different game. Maybe just take a break and do something else and come back to the game. You know, whatever. But if you're not having fun, change something. Hello there. Hi, Marikath. Hi, Mont. Can you please help me with a TP to friend at the end of the jumping puzzle of the Bava Nisos? Alex, are you on EU right now or NA? As a League player, I feel attacked. That's just the enemy jungler. They're on EU. Alex, what's your in-game name? What's up? What's up, Rue? When I start to get bored, if I don't want to set the game aside, I'll try a new build. Sometimes it makes a difference. True. Sometimes you can play another class or build and be like, oh shoot, this is really fun and it's refreshing. Doesn't work for everyone, but sometimes.
We have to interrupt the ritual. Stand back or die.
Alright, hang on.
Finish his ritual. Stop him first, then focus on the shaman's ritual.
Why is this not working? It says you're already in a party or squad.
Fine. I can finish this quickly with a little effort.
Y'all ready for the best voice acting you've ever heard? Ugh. 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 No.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Ugh. Alright, Lex, let me finish this boss, and then I'll swap to my Bavaniso's character for you. If you can wait that long, I'll do it. Muck, I need to protect my vocal cords also, Muck. It's just, what's a little grunting between friends? Come on. I think he's going to leash. Flip for the stars. You good? I think my wife just like knocked over a stack of something in the kitchen.
What happened?
GG! Nice. Okay. Who baited him into the pit? Good job. Yeah, that actually worked out really well. Maybe you should just like get everyone down there next time. All right, guy in my party wanted a port to the Bavanisos thing. Which character was there? This one. Did you obtain the Endless Summer Leggy Ring? Hang on a sec. No, I already have 2 Leggy Rings. I did not need Endless Summer. I did do enough of it, like I did the quest line for the Gift of the Hylek just to record it, and that way I was able to make a video on it, and I have a video guide out on it now. But kind of like how I have a guide for Warbringer, I never actually made it because I didn't need it. Alright, there we go. He's here. Hey, how are you? What's up, Octo? I'm doing alright. Muck, I got a raid-related question. For many guides I've seen that for healing raids, Harrier or Minstrel gear is recommended. Is Selly a viable option for Heal Scourge? Yes. The main thing is, are you doing a raid boss where it will be tanked by the person with the most toughness? Some bosses in the game will pursue the person with the most toughness, and that person is the tank. So if you're using Selly, you will have a bunch of toughness. So you may become the tank whether you want it to be it or not. So it's just important to be aware of that. Thank you. Sure. Did they say when Guardians Glade CM is coming out? I believe they originally said a few weeks after the normal one came out. I don't know what date that puts it on. I don't have an exact date. Hey, y'all. Hey, Julio. But yeah, more feedback on the Selly thing, X-Borok. If you are a support Scourge, the main thing is, do you have enough concentration to keep your boons on your party? And do you have enough healing power to keep people alive? If you have enough of both of those, then yeah, you can divide your stats more into either damage or Selly, and that's fine. I'm gonna brain fire right now. Did you look at the new Warclaw? I did not. Hang on. Mischievous Ferret Warclaw skin. Oh man, I wish I could see it like running around. So now it's canon that Tyria has massive ferrets. Is that out now? Yeah, yeah, I'm on the live server. Yeah, that's out now. Hey Mark, how did heal DPS builds from Guild Gen work out for you? This is cool. Yeah, I actually have a video in the queue called I Tried Heal DPS Untamed. It was pretty neat. I actually still have that build loaded. Hang on. So this was it. With this build, I was able to do like 10 to 15k DPS while also healing a group and providing all the usual boons. It has the same weakness that any Heal Untamed build has, which is that it does not have stability. It cannot provide stability to its party. But beyond that, I mean, yeah, it was like if your party's staying alive, you're adding another like 10k DPS to the group. So that's nice. Still waiting for Synergetics Warclaw, which looks like a motorbike. Healers are doing everything now, and they even need DPS. Nah, it's fun sometimes. Like, I've never played another MMO. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've never played another MMO where you could be a healer and a tank at the same time. I have seen one where you could heal and DPS at the same time, and it was the Chloromancer from Rift. That was an interesting one. I actually know a guy who hated healing in pretty much all games, but he loved playing the Chloromancer in Rift, which was a DPS healer. Druid and WoW PvP. Depends on the timeline, I guess. I played WoW for about 10 years, and it's been almost 14 years since I played WoW for 10 years, so I don't know at what period of time. Is there a healer in WoW that converts damage and healing? Disc Priest could do some, but it's not the same as what I'm talking about. Like, for example, Druid in WoW, if you are putting you target an ally and you're casting heals, in that moment you're not doing damage. If you target an enemy and you start doing damage, in that moment you're not healing unless there's a heal over time that's like wearing off on somebody. When I was talking about doing damage and healing at the same time, I meant simultaneously. Rift had a class called the Chloromancer, and you would put a debuff on an enemy that looked like a thorny vine would wrap around them. And you could set it to be either the one or the many. And basically, every time you hit that enemy, a percentage of the damage you dealt would heal everyone in your squad for a small amount, or the most hurt person for a massive amount. So you could set them to be either, like, main tank healers or raid healers. But they were effectively, you know, hitting as hard as they could. That was their goal. So they played like a DPS, but as long as they kept that debuff up, the Chloromancer would be healing either main tank or squad. Sounds like an anchoring microwave or something. Oh no. Oh no, we got a problem. The donut! My stun breaker's on cooldown. I search and rescued him out of the donut. I'm not sure I can save this guy. Oh, I got him. I had to burn Allies Aid and Glyph of the Stars, though. Guys, look at me! I'm so curvy! I am not enjoying the sounds that robot is making. Going to lunch, take care, see you, Roo. I've been out of the game for 2 months. How is Ellie looking now? I don't know. Ellie, hey. Does anyone have a stick? Ellie, how you doing? You good? Yeah, they're the same. I feel the shade. No, I mean, honestly, real talk, not much has changed. They're still godlike in the right hands, and they are still floor warmers in everybody else's hands. Ellie's here is a lot of fun. Yeah. Like, in PvP, for example, if you run into a Weaver, there's a chance he's a demigod, and it's going to take 3 people on your team to kill him. But then there's, like, all the rest of the Ellies. Like, it's a very, very high skill cap class. I was hoping Evoker would remove the need to cycle through all elements just to do your job. I assume you mean as a support, because DPS don't cycle all 4 elements. As a support, yeah, you still have to cycle all 4 elements as an Evoker. Except in, I think there's an Evoker build for World v World that just camps water and just does healing, but other people have to do the boons to cover for it. Season of Discovery let Warlocks tank and Rogues and Shamans, I think. That was neat. Yeah, Season of Discovery was relatively recent. I never played that. Well, now the great boss, Dawal. I'm currently working on making obsidian armor. I just finished doing Interneos Lantern 6 times and Matcomp Skywatch and Amnisaw 6 times with 6 ults. I'm tired, boss. Damn. Yeah, that sounds really boring. Let's see. Oh, Noxxi messaged me. Oh, she finished editing one of the videos. The heal DPS Untamed, I tried. Alright, I'll have to watch that after the stream and see if it needs any adjustments. Someone with a ferret ran past you? Oh, yeah, right there. Mug, when you playing through Elden Ring, did you also play through Shadows of the Erdtree? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I played through Elden Ring, and I did it blind, okay? I was not looking at other people, I was not looking at media, stuff like that. So there was stuff that I missed, right? I did not know Melania existed until I finished my playthrough, because I just never found her. So when I did Erdtree, I went back and I fought Melania, and I also did all the Erdtree stuff. What was it? Consort Radon was the final guy? Yeah, like I beat him. Yeah, funny thing. Let me pull up a video here. Let me see. Hold on. I know I have this in here. There it is. Okay, you know how Melania has this crazy reputation for being like the toughest boss, like the most insane boss? My opinion is that Melania is only tough if you're trying to fight her naked with a stick. What? She's by the wall and they're bouncing off the wall. So, if you actually use all the tools that the game gives you, Melania's a joke. If you use all the stuff the game provides you to use, she's a freaking joke. I save that for any time we have this conversation. Yeah, Consort Radon. I think I spent like a morning stream on him. He might have taken me like 3 or 4 hours before I was able to get a kill on him. Was that pre or post Thorn nerf? I don't know. I don't follow Elden Ring patch notes. I don't know when they nerf Thorns. Was that another player? No, it was a summon mimic. Summon a copy of yourself. Is that an otter mount? It's a ferret. It's a ferret warclaw. They just added it today. I hid behind a shield and poked her with Dragon Halberd. Yeah, I saw people do that. There was a build where you could block and attack at the same time, and it was just like... There was so many people that did that on like Radon and stuff. No, I liked playing as a mage. So many bosses I had to learn to like dodge a lot, but yeah, I cleared Air Tree. There was a beautiful moment in WoW years ago when Warlocks could tank, but Blizz couldn't stand it. The only thing in WoW I ever tanked as a Warlock, what was it? What was that raid? It was either Black Temple or Serpent Shrine Cavern. There was a boss where it was better for a Warlock to tank it. I can't remember why, but I remember I went Demonology, and I had to have Soul Link, and I had a healer dedicated to watching my pet. And then I was having to spam Searing Pain because it had a high aggro on it to tank this guy. And I would hold him, and like the normal tanks were holding other mobs. I can't recall what the name of the thing was, but I think it was Black Temple or Serpent Shrine. There was a time in Dragonflight and WoW where Paladin tanks could do high content 5-man dungeons without a healer in group, so one tank 4 DPS. Interesting. Do you remember the fight itself? I mean, I just kind of described it. I remember there was multiple things to deal with, and hang on. WoW fight in SSC with Warlock tank. Let's just see what comes up. Leotheris the Blind? Is that him? Tank him with a Warlock wearing full fire resistance gear. Use Searing Pain to hold threat. That's it. Yeah, and Warlocks did not have taunt, so you had to watch your aggro. If you pulled off of the tank, you would die. Yeah, Leotheris the Blind. Leo doesn't have ads, though? Then I might have misremembered. I mean, we're talking about something between 14 and 24 years ago. Yeah. That's probably the one I was thinking of. Did you do AQ 40? Some bosses. I assume you mean like when it was fresh content. When the gates of Encourage opened, I did do AQ 20 with my guild, but my guild was too small to do AQ 40. So I joined with a few other small guilds, and we all like went together and did AQ 40 and like Molten Core and stuff like that. We did not clear AQ40. I mean, it had freaking Cthulhu. We cleared like a few bosses in AQ40, like when it was current content. I've gone back later and soloed the place, you know, like many years later, but when it was current content, just a few bosses. Did you ever do Tempest Keep? Yeah, in BC, I cleared everything. Burning Crusade, I cleared everything when it was like new content. So yeah, Serpent Shrine with Lady Vash, Tempest Keep with Kael'thas, Magtheridon, Gruul, Black Temple. I think in Black Temple, we were at the Shade of Aran, and then like the next expansion was coming out soon, so they did like a nerf to all bosses, all raid bosses in BC by a small amount. So we didn't get to Illidan pre-nerf, but we did clear Black Temple before the next expansion dropped. Do you have a higher chances to get the chalk from the caches behind the wall? Not that I know of, no. I love 10-man raiding in WoW. 20-man was too much for a small group of friends, sadly. Dude, one thing we had happen, it was, in... What was it? It was Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm was when I was getting server first. In Wrath of the Lich King, we had... I don't remember if it was 20 or 25-man raiding in Wrath. But there was, like... There was one of the two. But at that time, like, the better gear came from, like, 20-man or 25-man. Whatever the bigger one was. 25? Okay, let's say 25. So the better gear came from 25. And then they announced that when Cataclysm came out, you could get best in slot gear from either 10 or 25 man in Cataclysm. And the thing was, we had like 10 or 12 gamers. Then we had like 13 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were nice. They were not the same skill level just in terms of gaming. So I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So like at the end of Wrath, we told everybody like, yeah, we're not gonna raid in the next expansion. Wishing everyone the best. Thanks for being here. Y'all are awesome. Blah 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 blah. And then like in whispers to like 9 of them, I'm like, we're gonna reform in 5 minutes. So I didn't burn any bridges. No one was upset. But yeah, I basically disbanded and said bye to everyone, and then like immediately reformed under a different name. With like the 10 gamers, and then we ended up getting server first in Cataclysm. Muck, what are your thoughts on Ecto Gamba? I mean, it's a way to get Ectos and gold out of the in-game economy. I'm not someone drawn to gambling. I went to Las Vegas once. I got bored. So... yeah, overall, I don't do it. Is there a link somewhere for your Druid PvP spec and setup? I mean, I play a lot of different builds when I PvP. I'm kind of on break from PvP right now. I've had way too many stream snipers lately, so I'm done with it. But all of the... if you do exclamation build, you can inspect my character and look at all the builds I have currently loaded. And then also in the Mukluk Plays PvP playlist on the Mukluk Plays YouTube channel, at the end of every episode, I show the build I used in that video if you want to see those. Would you say the merchant you get from Ecto Gamba 100 times is worth it? I ended up getting the personal merchant express, so I never needed that. So no. And even this, I rarely ever use it. I would say getting a mobile bank is worth it. Getting a mobile Blackline trader or a mobile merchant is... I don't think it's worth it. I would say don't get those unless you've literally got everything else in the game. Do you play World v World? I have in the past, not currently. Not at the moment. Yeah, the mobile bank I use every single time I play. The mobile other stuff, rarely. How come you like SPVP and not World v World? Because in SPVP I matter. In World v World I don't feel like I matter. You know, like, the commanders matter, but everyone in the blob is just, it's just a blob. Like, I feel like the individual doesn't matter as much in World v World. It's more about coordination between 70 people. So in Season PV, you know, in Conquest, I feel like, yeah, there's much more weight on the individual, and, like, what you do matters a lot more. Now, that can be negative, too. You know, like, if you're new and you don't know what you're doing, you might be like, oh, I hate Conquest because there's more pressure on me. But for me, it's the other way around. However, I've had too many issues lately with, like, stream sniping and just, like, people abandoning actually playing the game just to focus on, like, killing me because they see someone that they're like, oh, it's the streamer. So I'm just like, I'm going to take a break. I'm just going to do PvE right now. The individual does not matter as long as the individual is not your stability provider or cleanser. Yeah, basically. Honestly, like, World v World is kind of fun when there's two squads that don't really know what they're doing. But if they're, like, people that are min-maxed and it's just, like, two blobs and they're like, boof, boof, boof. And they just do that, dude, I find that the most boring thing to watch. But if it's, like, if it's chaotic... If they're like, you know, we're getting flanked, squad 4, go to the right, squad 3, go to the left, 1 and 2, work on breaching the gate. You know, squad 5, go back and get another Dolyak, we need supply. You know, if it's something like that, dude, that sounds amazing. But when it's just blobs, it's so boring to watch. I have said before, I think the coolest thing that, like, I would love to see. You guys know how in Fractals, there is this social awkwardness debuff that sometimes comes up where people cannot get close together? I want to see that in World v World for a weekend. I think that would be amazing. Like, a Guardian makes a bubble, and, like, 5 people can fit in it. Everyone else is like, let me in! And they're just, like, banging on the side and screaming. Dude, I want to see... Collision? Yes. Dude, like, everybody stacking on a pin... looks so stupid. When I am selling people this game, I hide that because it makes it look bad. No downstate weekend. No, I like saving people from downstate. When they do no downstate weekends, I avoid it more. I think downstate is part of Guild Wars 2, and removing it removes fun from support enjoyers like myself. Did you like Alterac Valley and WoW? The original one, yeah. I actually remember when it first came out, I played in an Alterac Valley game on, like, Friday, and on Saturday, and on Sunday, and it was the same game. Like, no one had won. It was, like, perfectly even, and we were just fighting for, like, 3 days. But yeah, I was the guy that was, like, spam looting everyone who died and bringing all the blood and turning it in to summon the god as fast as possible. Yeah, I had the unstoppable force and the immovable object, all that jazz. But yeah, I think that World v World would be fun to watch if there was a collision, just for a weekend. Not permanently, just for a weekend. See what they come up with. Because it'll force people to make new strategies. And I also think that if one guy does a projectile block, it should not be able to protect 70 people. I think projectile blocks should break after, like, 10 hits or something. Like, making one bubble to protect 70 people is crazy. It should be like an Overwatch Reinhardt shield. Enough damage should break it. Yeah, often when I'm talking to people that come from WoW, when they ask about World v World, I tell them that it's like Alterac Valley, but it's 10 times the size. There's a Ferret Warclaw? Yep, it just came out today. You can't hit beyond 5 people, but you can reflect 300 attacks in a second. Yup. Yeah, I think those abilities need a cap of some sort. I don't know how, now, I just to be clear, I do not know how hard that would be to program. I'm not a programmer. I'm just saying that in terms of balance, I think those abilities need a cap of some kind. Like, a cap where it's not going to change a one-on-one, right? Like, if I am dueling a Guardian and he puts up a shield and the shield absorbs 10 hits, the shield will probably just wear off before it can absorb 10 hits from me in a one-on-one. But, if it's like, you know, just massive blobs, it would just block a few hits or something.
Not seeing the sub badge reminded me it was time to resub.
Thank you, when it did. Appreciate that. The subs are very helpful. Sirembor as well. I missed that a few minutes ago. Thank you. Stability's too powerful. Agreed. I think collision might cause griefing if your teammate pushes you off a cliff or box you in. True. It could. And that I think it would solve a bunch of problems, but then it would make a few new problems. So that's why I said a weekend, not a permanent change. I said I would love to see it for a weekend, see what happens. Because again, the World v World people would have to cook up new strats, and I would love to see what they come up with. What do you think they should do with Edge of the Mist? I don't know. The entire time I've been an active player for this game, Edge of the Mist has been dead. I wasn't there when it first came out. Make abilities hit everything in the radius in World v World. Do you want every healer in a blob able to hit the entire blob? I think that would not be great. It's like, I'm immediately imagining moves like marksmanship, lead the win, your longbow skills pierce. Imagine like your whole group is blobbed up, and then a few enemy rangers all use piercing longbow knockback, and your whole blob loses all stability and just gets sent flying. All damage abilities would also hit the blob. Yeah, that would be crazy. Hey, what's up? Your voice sounds messed up too. What's the rarest infusion that's ever dropped from you? Aurelium infusion. That was worth 2,000 gold at the time. Dropped for me from this meta one time. Edge of the Mist was so much fun back then. I'm sad it's dead now. I love vertical landscapes of Edge of the Mist and how much Stronghold was unique. What's up? Chip is under my desk right now. Now he's in the chair. He's ramming his head into the scritchers. Are there new CM raid rewards dropping for anyone? I am not in a group that's doing the new stuff on CM. Or sorry, the CM rewards. What did they add that to? I think it was Deimos, Twin Largos, and Doom. I have not done those on CM since the new drops were added. What are you doing? Put your butt down. This dude. Kitty cat. Yep, that's Chip. He hangs out with us sometimes. I would say fear is overpowered, as if you have 25 stab and someone corrupts all boons, then stab gets corrupted into one condition. I mean, 25 stab. I mean, are you wanting people to corrupt 20? Because, okay, I hear you. But I think it would also be overpowered if it took 25 corrupts to get rid of 25 stab. Right? I think that would also be really problematic. Not one condition, fear. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying I don't know the fix for that. Like, we certainly cannot have 25 stab being, you know, removed one by one by one. That's not the solution. So what's the middle ground there? I will say, in my mind, I think auras are more problematic because they cannot be removed. There is no counter for auras in the game. It's especially problematic in Conquest. If there's a good Tempest on the enemy team, they've got Magnetic or Chill Aura the whole time. Mike, do you think the new legendary accessory from World v World would be like Conflux in terms of mats? I truly don't know. If it's like Conflux, then that's just going to be a bunch of time and tickets, right? But, yeah, for those who missed it, the next, we just had the 3-month update for Visions of Eternity. The 6-month update is supposed to add a legendary accessory for World v World. And if they do that, then the question is it going to be attainable like Warbringer or Conflux? Buff Guardian. It has no room left for more buffs. It's max buffs.
Here's another. Make it count.
Oh no, I saw that right as I was getting there. We have an armor, but he's like AFK. North has been defeated. Yo, calm down, North. No, another Trigger Blossom. God.
The Octavine is vulnerable. Attack now.
I will slice you open.
That's right. Run.
Alright, South defeated. Panic? Mike, thanks for all the guides. Is your main ranger? Yes. Yeah, I have... Let me see. I have 10,000 hours in Guild Wars 2 and 7,000 were on ranger. So it's my home. I do visit all the other classes, but this is my main.
Be prepared to fight, hero.
Nope, 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 nope. Dude, I am connected to EU and I dodged that. Oh my gosh. Did I get the loot? Okay. There was so many bodies on the box, I couldn't tell if I got the loot or not. Is it because of the pet? I do like pet classes, but I also love, like, that it has, like, a lot of revive potential. The ability to save people from downstate very well. And there are some other classes that could do it now, do it also, but... Like, other classes I've spent a lot of time playing are Scourge, Mechanist, Scrapper, Ritualist, since it came out, I've played a lot. Those are the ones I've spent the most time on. Like, I think for like a year I mained Scrapper, and for like a year I mained Mech. But I come back to Ranger a lot. I'm starting over Guild Wars 2 after a long time, but I want a fresh start with a new character. What prof do you suggest me? there's no wrong choice. It truly depends on what you're into. You want to shoot a gun, swing a sword, shoot fireballs, have an animal friend, build a giant robot. Hey, Michael Chat. What's up, Crimson? How many infusions do you get in AB now? How many I've only gotten one here forever. But the thing about this meta is there's so much rewards that even if you don't get a crazy rare drop, it's still profitable. So, if you get a crazy rare drop, that's just like icing on the cake. Soap says I'd recommend against Ellie and Mesmer. They tend to be squishy and difficult to be good at. Yeah, if you've played other MMOs before, you'll be fine with any class. If this is your first MMO ever, then Ellie and Mesmer can be tougher to learn than other classes. But with any of the classes, if you put time into it, you can get good at it. But what they're saying is not wrong. Muck, did going over to ANET Gathering cause you to break your streaming streak? No. I did 2 streams from the hotel room where I just like talked about like everything that happened and just was like, okay, yeah, so we landed, you know, went to ArenaNet, it was awesome, and yeah, so it's just like me in the hotel room talking. So there was 2 like days where I did a very short stream, just kind of sharing like status update, and it kept the streak alive. So no, I have still streamed every day for over 7 years. What? You want to print? Chip's yelling at me. Yo, Rob, thank you. Appreciate that. Hang on a sec. You see this dude? What? What? He's yelling at me. You're about to chomp. I could tell. I know you. Your eyes getting dilated and see you loading stupid.exe. Rob, thank you again for the 5 subs. Appreciate that. Helps me buy food for this little gremlin. Have you done Terrier 100 times achievement? Oh, I'm sure I have. Mark, what kind of music do you like? You know, I usually just listen to whatever is in the game I'm playing. Like, I never really turn on music. You know, other than just like whatever music is in the background of what I'm doing. I know, I say I could probably appreciate most types of music. Alright. Mott, question about ranger pets. What's up? Currently the meta build on Snowcrows is Wallow and Boar as pets, which is not appealing. Does using different pets cause a big loss on DPS? Depends on the build. Let me give you some examples. If you're a Soul Beast, yes, it's tremendous. Because Soul Beast, you merge with the pet, you gain its abilities, which changes your bar. And you gain stats from the pet. So Soul Beast having the wrong pet is a tremendous change in damage. However, if you are playing Druid or Untamed, it's less of a thing. Because pets just on their own are not that powerful. Like, if your total damage output is 100%, it's going to be like 90 from you, 10 from the pet. Maybe. So, in that situation, having the wrong pet is not going to be a massive deal. So, it depends on the build. There's a few others. For example, Druid, if you're playing a Condi Druid, this trait and this trait is... Where is it? Hold on, I'm looking for something. Inflict bleeding on enemies you immobilize. Okay? So if you've got that... Oh crap, I just messed up my build. Hang on a second. I think it was like that. Okay. So if you've got that, and you are running Jacaranda, when the Jacaranda roots something, it applies Immobilize 5 times. So this skill does 5 bleeds. It's a really weird synergy, and I don't know that it was intended to be like that, but it is. So a Condi Druid really likes this pet in particular because this applies 5. This procs this procs the trait I just showed you 5 times. So there are some builds that yes, it's like you want to use the thing it tells you to use. But there are other builds where it's going to be the difference in like 1% in damage. Not there. On Quickness Untamed, it's probably not a big deal then. True. Quickness Untamed, like I've done some testing on, and yeah, it's minor. Like, I'm currently using the Sand Lion just because it does, like, a hair more damage than some of its other competitors. But I certainly do not have to be using the Sand Lion, though. Thanks. Sure. How often do you get tired of playing a class? It happens. Like, when Visions of Eternity came out, I was, like, all over the Ritualist. I was playing the Ritualist for a couple weeks straight. What is this? And then I got tired of my screen being green. Oh, nice. Oh. No, they're not nice. They just won. No. I got invited to one that was over. Rip. Oh, thanks for trying. Darude the Sand Lion, I see what you did there. Chat names a lot of my pets. But yes. Do you need to save the books from Season 4, or can they be destroyed? If you've got, like, a quest item, you're not sure if you can destroy it, check its wiki page. Too slow? Yeah. Check Dragger. Did you play Guild Wars 1 back in the day? Mm-hmm. The reason I bought Guild Wars 2 off of the shelf in a Best Buy so very long ago was because I was like, oh, I played Guild Wars 1. That was kind of fun. I'll try this. That was it. That was the whole logic. Muck, read this, Muck. I have read this, Crimson. Hang on, give me a sec. Oh, no one's doing it. Okay. Burr says, I used to main Thief, but I got so tired of dying all the time, I switched to Scrapper. Now I find myself standing still, spamming nevers. Is there any spec that comes to your head that deals high damage while maintaining mobility? Gale Shot. I'm not a fan of Gale Shot, but a lot of people love it. It's very high mobility. You give yourself super speed constantly, and you're just like a gun. You're just zooming around and firing a high damage long range bow all the time. You could of course play Thief with like pistol and spam unload and just run around. You could just focus all your attention on moving. Gale Shot, basically. Any plans on doing more plushie merchandise in the future? When we came out with the first plushie, the little Asura, I asked ArenaNet for permission to make plushies of their characters and just like give them half the profit, and I would do all the work. And many months later, I got tired of waiting, so I made one more that I could do without having to get anyone's permission, which was the Minion plushie, which is actually right here on my desk. So, you know, this guy. So this guy I didn't have to ask anyone for because he was like my character. And I checked with ArenaNet at like the 6-month anniversary of me asking them for permission. I was like, hey, just making sure that you guys haven't forgotten about this. They're like, oh no, we're still talking about it. I was like, okay. And it's funny because like at this point, the guy that's my contact at Makeshift, he doesn't even work there anymore. And they've got someone new in his position. And like, so like I've got his contact info now. And he's like, yeah, the last guy that worked here said that you were trying to get something going with ArenaNet. Just ping me if it works out. I was like, okay. So, yeah, it's... Pretty soon we'll be hitting the 1-year anniversary of me asking for permission to do that. Yeah, I mean, I hope it happens, but, I mean, at this point, it's just like, give me a yes or a no. Mug, did you see this? Oh, the ferrets? Yeah, we saw them in the in-game shop. That's a funny picture. The saddle is like so far back, it's like by the butt. Muck, why don't you play Rit anymore? I was tired of my screen being green. I don't have a heal skill. What? Hang on a second. Is it because I was showing Druid a minute ago? Alright, that's... Wow. Wow. No heal skill. Heal skills are for the weak, clearly. New Guild Wars 2 hardcore challenge, no heal skill.
It must be weakening. Don't let up.
Look at their ranger pets with super speed. The Janthier Warclaw. The baby Warclaw. It'll give your squad super speed for 5... Well, your group super speed for 5 seconds.
Feeding off the husks. Kill them.
Will boon duration increase effect on the pet? In that situation, no, because super speed is not a boon. But I believe in the general sense, yes. What's your favorite elite spec and ranger? Druid, followed by Untamed. I don't really like the other two. Soul Beast is fun sometimes in PvP, but I think Soul Beast in PvE, people often just merge with the pets and then forget about it, so it's just like Green Warrior. Vipro says, do you like that raids are designed in a way where you need very specific roles like Deimos, Handkite, tanks, Lamp, Pylon at Kadim, etc.? Or would you prefer more bosses like Twin Largos where everyone has to learn everything? It depends on the fight. First of all, I think Twin Largos is not a great example of that because everyone doesn't have to learn everything on Twin Largos. Everyone is just like, oh, water is bad. Follow your tank. You know? That's it. Deimos, Handkite. Okay. I think Deimos Handkite should be deleted. It's just one guy who has to stand in the back and doesn't get to, like, play the game. It's so boring. I honestly think that role is awful. Like, it is so incredibly boring. But, you know, it is what it is. Lamp and Pylon, I think those are fine. Those are a bit engaging. Those will, you know, you can have some fun while doing those, right? It's not like Handkite, so I think those are okay. Tanking, there are people that enjoy tanking, so I think it's fine to have some fights where you get to, you know, be the tank. But let's see, we were talking about, like, boon duration on pets. So, like, for example, let's see. If you look, the duration of might from this roar is 20 seconds. If I change to, let's see, this, now the duration, oh, wait, hold on a sec, sorry. Do that, and then do that. Okay, now it's 15 seconds. So yes, your concentration does affect boons that come from your pet. But super speed is not a boon. So if you are using the Janthier Warclaw to get Rallying Roar, which has super speed will not be affected by that. Could I think of a better example than Largos? No, that's fine. That's fine. So, I mean, honestly, I think Deimos is a decent one where everybody needs to know everything going on. Because at the very least, they need to know, don't touch the oil or we die, right? You dodge the pizza slices or you die, right? Stuff like that. Hand-kiting gets really exciting when you're playing with a first-timer tank who's got 1500 toughness. Yeah, that's a wipe. Yeah, you might not know it yet, but that's a wipe. Is that a lot or overkill? 1500 is not a lot. Everyone has 1000, so that means they just have 500 extra. Like, if we're in a low level zone. Like I can, one of my healing builds, I'm just like running around with 2300 toughness. We do claw. I like the Doom fight because everything that's going on. Doom has a lot going on. Yeah, it's definitely enough to keep your mind engaged, but at the same time that makes it less puggable. But every fight doesn't have to be puggable, so that's fine. I feel like if you stick to his butt, Doom is a DPS column. Well, that's because you're one of the people that's not doing much. What I mean is there's someone who's got to kite the ad. So there's one person running around the room dealing with that. There's one person that has to tank the boss and move the boss to all the specific locations at the specific timestamps. So there's one person doing that. There's the people that are handling the greens. So that's at least 2, maybe 4 people that are doing that. And then the remaining people stick to his butt, and it's a DPS column. They just need to know, follow Doom wherever he has moved. And if we get the bomb, run it away. And if we get the beams connecting us, break the beams. The big issue with Doom is the fight is fine and rather easy. If you're comparing it to other raid bosses, it's not. And again, I'm not saying they need to change Doom. It's fine having some complex fights. But Doom has a lot of things where if you do any of them wrong, like if you do a green wrong, you know, you die. If you fail to kite that thing away from the group, it'll kill the group. If you do not have Doom in the right position, your green people won't reach the green in time, or you won't be able to cleave down the big ad before it reaches the Reaper thing. If you go into... If you become the little wisp of light and you accidentally touch the bug zapper, you die instantly. It's one of the harder fights in the game. Now, if you're an experienced raider, yeah, it's fine. But, I mean, if you're comparing it to the other stuff on the menu, it's one of the harder things on the menu. World boss tour? Yeah, just doing world bosses. Actually, I can take this chance. Do restroom break. I will be right back.
Everyone fights. Everyone fights.
Okay, we back. I see now how there's lots of things to the squad to do, but each individual person doesn't do that much. Even kite isn't engaging unless you try to max out DVS while kiting. I mean, yeah, okay. So by that logic, yeah, most raid bosses, there's not much going on. Like, for example, the final boss of Shattered Observatory Fractal on challenge mode, they last like 10% of his life. You need to be hitting the boss, You need to be watching out for the floor falling out from under you. You need to be jumping over the shockwaves. You need to be turning away if the eye thing is lit up. You occasionally need to be pushing the balls into the corner pillars, going clockwise. You need to kill the ad. You need to point the red cone away from the other group members. You need to get inside the bubble if you've got the bomb. Like, they're in that moment, I think the Shattered Observatory Fractal's final phase of the final boss is tougher on an individual basis than any raid boss. Because each individual, there might be 7 to 9 things to deal with. Whereas the, on a raid boss, there's probably 1 or 2 things happening at any given time.
Be ready. Here they come.
But again, I think the difference between a tough raid boss and an easy one is a tough one has a mechanic where if one person screws up, everyone dies. But on an easy raid boss, if someone messes up, they only kill themselves and everyone else can keep going.
May both us all straight.
Let's get this wall repaired.
What do you got for nutrients? It's not lunchtime yet, so I have water.
Zero tolerance.
The cone is one of the instabilities if you're talking about the puke. I'm not talking about the puke. I'm talking about the red cone that points out from the boss.
All this locale no more.
It's, here, hang on. Let me see if I can pull this up.
It'll be coming over those mountains any second now. I just know it.
Where is... Here we go.
Eyes to the sky. Keep the dragon in your
Hey
sights.
everyone, Mukluk, Douglas, Bartholomew, Reginald Esquire, all at once. New players, you will struggle here. Be patient as you learn this. None of this is difficult, it's just handling all of it at one time can be overwhelming. Everything the boss does is basically, if he does this, you do that. If he makes red orbs, use special action key. If an anomaly spawns, kill it. If you have the bomb, get in the bubble. If you have green circle, share it with friends. If eye appears, look away. If 4 orbs spawn, push them to the right. If ring is coming, jump over it. If floor is falling, move to another tile. If standing in red area, move out of it. If break bar, interrupt it. If cone is on you, dodge at the last second. Once you can handle all— So all of that is happening at once at the end of the Shattered Observatory boss fight. And yeah, I do totally fine with that fight, but I'm just saying, as far as like what's happening individually, there's a lot more going on there than like on a raid boss, where at any given moment there's like 2 things happening at once. Now, I'm fine with that. They don't need to change anything, but it's just like, yeah, if you're... Now, do I think that fight is really tough? No. You know the reason? It's because if one guy screws up, it doesn't kill me, it just kills him. I can keep going.
Vacate these premises.
But on Doom, if my job is not greens, and then someone screws up greens, I die. Maybe it's because I've played Fractals more than raids, so it feels easier to learn. Again, like, if you can handle Shattered Observatory CM, you can handle pretty much any raid boss. Like, I would say you'll probably learn the fight and then have to, like, do more attempts waiting on everybody else to figure it out before you get the kill.
the ledges.
Because the community does this boss fight wrong, it's actually very healing intensive, and I get to have a lot of fun here as a healer.
Never capitulate.
Gotta love these toe fights. Oh yeah.
My role has ended.
Does ANET care? Do they care that we do it this way? I mean, if they did, it would be really easy to change. Instead of just a persistent amount of damage that we can heal through, they would just have like a stacking debuff, maybe just call it like permafrost or something, and it just stacks infinitely, and every stack you take more damage per second, and that would force us to go back to doing it the old way. It's kind of like Bone Skinner. Bone Skinner's the same idea. We do it the wrong way, but if they wanted us to do it the way they intended, they could easily just be like, oh, if there's not at least one torchlit, he's invulnerable. You know, it would be very easy for them to make a tweak to force us to do the mechanics if they care. They just haven't. Another thing I dislike in Guild Wars 2 is that you can skip mechanics or ignore them with Aegis and Stab. I mean, that's a whole conversation. I have mixed feelings on that. I do kind of have a love-hate relationship with stability, because for a long time I enjoyed playing a support that didn't have access to stability. So I have been kicked out of many groups because I wasn't a firebrand, you know, for many years. Now I have a very small amount of access to stability, but still nowhere near like a firebrand. So there are still some fights that my favorite class isn't really good for. And you know, there is a skill of like, if you've got a boss that like every 20 seconds he does a shockwave that knocks everyone over, it's like whether you jump over it or whether someone applies stability, you have to, he does A, you do B. It's just that if it's jump, each individual person has to do it, and if it's stability, then just one person has to do it. So I don't mind Aegis and Stab. They are, in some cases, like, skillfully applied, especially if it's Aegis. Like, if the Bone Skinner leaps and is crashing down, and you want to do Aegis to block the damage for your group, but you time it 1/2 a second wrong, the ticking damage in the room will eat your Aegis, then the crash kills you. So I feel like it's actually skillful being able to use Aegis on some fights at the right moment. However, when I look at World v World and there's just blobs and someone in the blob has just got stability and he's going, oh, and he's just throwing it out, like, that to me, I'm just like, okay, that looks very boring, you know, not my thing. So it just depends on what's going on. I already did that today. I think a relatively unpopular boss like this would be pretty much die, though, if they force people to do it properly. I don't know, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe the new meta would just be super long-range people like Gale Shots just gun it down from out of range of the ice. Or a million Sky Scales spitting fireballs on him. We've got more stupid ideas we can do. Which add-on is that? This? Event table in Blish HUD. Shows you what events are happening right now, and you can click on them to teleport there if you have the waypoint. It's very nice. Reminds me of the massive dragon fight in DS2. DS2? Dungeon Siege? Probably not. Dark Souls? Massive. I never played Dark Souls 2, so I don't know the dragon. I played DS1 right when it was, not the remaster, right when DS1 was released on PC, and it was hailed as the worst PC port of all time. I played DS1 at that time, and I've cleared DS3. I didn't finish DS1 because it was awful, like, the porting was terrible. I've never played DS2 at all. You beat DS3 on mouse and keyboard? Yeah. Yeah, I am terrible with a controller. I will play a game with poor mouse and keyboard controls before I play a game with good controller controls, just because I suck at controller very much. So all of the following I beat on mouse and keyboard. Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring, Erdtree, Lies of P, Lords of the Fallen, Black Myth Wukong, working on Neo 3 right now. First Berserker Kazan. And I will say, of all of those, Elden Ring had the worst mouse and keyboard controls. They were terrible. Dark Souls 3, probably second from the bottom. And the others were either okay or really, really good. Neo 3, really, really good mouse and keyboard controls. I don't have complaints on that. Have you tried Sekiro? Sekiro is the only Souls game that I tried and didn't like it, and I stopped playing it. I should give it another try someday. But yeah, I did try Sekiro for about 10 hours. Beat a few bosses. Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay, yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, terrible controls, but we were talking about Souls-likes.
Gon raided my stream with 1 viewers.
Hey, Gon, thank you. Appreciate that. Muck, care to do a little shilling for Dark Pictures Anthology? 90% discount right now for the ones who want to try them. Dark Pictures Anthology are kind of like movies where you make choices, like a choose your own ending thing, and it's very, very, like, the goal is to get through the story and keep everyone alive. And sometimes logic helps you, and sometimes it doesn't. They're spooky games that we played during, Halloween month. Enjoy your stream. Thank you. Sorry, Long from Software Fan used Talingo. In Dark Souls 3, do you remember the build you used? I did multiple playthroughs of Dark Souls 3. I think my favorite was Pyromancy. And Pyromancy, you had to have points in both, Arcane Magic and also Sorcery and Faith. So I was able to use, like, low-level Faith skills so I could heal myself. And then also I could, shoot fireballs. So I think that was my favorite run. So it's like I would often do fights kind of like a paladin where I would fight in melee and then just heal after. But if, like, I couldn't handle the enemy, I always had the option of, like, backpedaling and shooting fireballs. Muck, how do I get to the challenge mode Greer Convergence? I've never done the challenge mode convergences for those. I assume that there would be like a moat or something at the entrance. If anyone else wants to chime in, feel free to. Mug, have you played Darksiders? Yes, I played 1 and 2 before I was ever a streamer. I believe I played, is it 3 where you play the sister? I played the one where you play the sister as a streamer, so that one I've got recorded. What's up? What? How do I get more of the token for hero points in WoW? Is it just leveling my rank? Yeah, just playing. You just leveling up in there and just getting the boxes in there from participation. Those boxes have more of them inside. What raid do you recommend for groups new to raids in general? Back when I was doing hands-on raid training, when I was just like training 9 people at a time rather than making videos to train 1,000 people at a time, I would take them to Wing 4, and I would do the first 3 bosses, and then I would take them to Wing 1 and do the first 3 bosses. So that's Cairn, Mursat Overseer Samurog, and then Veil Guardian, Spirit Run, and Gorseval. That's what I would use. Those 6 would be what I would use for raid training. Muck, if you messed up mastery points and did not pay attention, is there a way to correct it? No. There's enough mastery points to get every mastery in the game and still have hundreds left over. So you just gotta earn more and get the thing you meant to get. And of course, if you haven't done raids at all, doing Quickplay raids is a good starting point. Those were just added to the game. You can join into those, and it's like baby raids, and you're buffed, so you're stronger than usual. So you can kind of get a feel for how the fight works before doing it on its, intended difficulty. One of my characters has 411 extra hero points. Well, he was talking about mastery points, but yeah, you can get more than enough hero. You can get enough hero points that when, if they add another elite spec, you can, immediately unlock it. Quickplay raid feels iffy because once the hardest fight pops, they just leave. It's people. It depends on the people. I did 10 Quickplay raids last week, and we had 1 wipe on Old Lion's Court, and then I typed in chat what to do, and then we killed it on the next attempt. But I have heard of other people that got Old Lion's Court 5 times in a row. I didn't have that happen. Spirit of Nature Rose. Which masteries do I need for the Castora Mirror Farm? Hold on, I don't have their names memorized. I think it's these. Yeah, all of these improve the rewards from mirrors. Wild, Castor, and Magic section. Sekiro is my favorite From Software game. When you get to the flow state while fighting a boss, it's so satisfying. For me, I hated the lack of customization. To compare it to Dark Souls 3, because we were talking about that earlier, You could do a sorcery run, or a faith run, or a sword and board run, or a two-handed weapon run, or a pyromancy run. I don't know if I said that. Archery. Like, there's so many options, right? In Sekiro, you are dude with sword. That's it. The end. Even if you, like, buy throwing stars, you can only use, like, 5 before you have to go, like, rest at a bonfire again. Like, that's it. You are dude with sword. If you don't like it, then get out. You can't change any of that. So I think that was some of the main things frustrating me. And again, I killed a few bosses. I played like 10 hours of it. I think the last boss I killed was, I think her name was Lady Butterfly. It was like this woman that was like jumping around on wires. It took me a bunch of tries, but I got her. And then I got to a guy where he progressively gets more naked the longer the fight goes on. And there's like lightning crackling on his sword and stuff like that. And I got to phase 3, and then I was like struggling with phase 3, and I was like, you know what, I just realized I'm not even having fun right now. This is just frustrating. It's a long run back. This is tedious. I can't even pick how I want to play, and I just put the game down. So again, I should give it another try at some point. I've gotten good a little bit more. We'll see if I've improved enough that I feel differently about the game. Actually, in Sekiro, your dude was sort of prosthetic. First of all, spoilers. Second of all, the, again, the gizmo, like your gizmo, whether you bring the flamethrower or 5 throwing stars or whatever prosthetic tool you bring, you can't focus on it. It's just like you can fire a shot or two and then you need a bonfire. Any games you recently played that was better than you initially thought going into it? Games that were better than I initially thought going into it. I didn't have any opinion on this before trying it, but I'm loving it. Ixion has been really good. Neo 3, I was concerned. Anytime I play a Souls-like on keyboard and mouse, I'm concerned about the controls. Because, like, again, Elden Ring had the worst controls of any Souls-like I've ever played. Neo 3 had fantastic controls, so no complaints there. Reanimal, opposite thing. Reanimal was 3.5 hours long. I kind of regret spending $40 on that. Better than I thought it would be. Better than I thought it would be. Pony Island? This was made by the guy who made Inscription. My voting website. Y'all wanted me to play this. I was like, fine. I was thinking this would be stupid. This was actually kind of fun. Rhythm Doctor. This game was actually insane. I thought that, again, this was one that I think a patron forced me to play this on. And it was way more intriguing than I thought it would be. Let me see if I can find a clip from it. Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk was definitely a game that I did not have a high opinion of, and then I tried it, and then I got hooked. Cyberpunk was fantastic. Where did I post it? Give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. Okay, alright, hold on. All right, so I posted this on my Facebook page. This was the... Oh gosh, hang on a second. Can I full screen this somehow? Oh my god. I don't remember. I couldn't find it on Twitter. Okay, this was Rhythm Doctor. It would sometimes open multiple windows while you're playing it. And it's a rhythm game. You have to hit buttons based on what you hear to progress. And you have hit points, and every time you make a mistake, you lose a hit point. So you have to get through a song, and this is like the part of the final boss fight. This was the hardest section of the final boss fight. This took me a very long time to get past. Yeah, I was not expecting this going into this, right? Like, this was a very hand-holdy game, and then it just, like, went off a cliff. How do you keep track of that? It's mostly sound. It's mostly your ear, not your eyes. Like, there was so much stuff that was happening in here, but it's mostly sound. You're mostly listening for sound cues and hitting buttons responding to them. But yeah, it was very challenging. And I was not expecting the friggin' Dark Souls of rhythm for the final boss when I started playing that game. Are you gonna try the demo of Darkhaven? I don't know what that is. Hang on. Let me just see this. One sec. Where's that? ARPG brought to you by many of the original creators of Diablo and D2. What? Aren't they like 80 now? Oh my gosh. Oh my god, it's got Minecraft. It looks like something I would try. It looks like the game is kind of laggy, honestly, from like this trailer. Like there's so much that environmental destruction. Like the game looked really choppy, honestly. But I do love ARPGs. Like, just to show. Hang on a second. All right, so like Path of Exile, I got like 1,700 hours in that. I've played every Diablo game since Diablo 1 came out. I do love ARPGs. So, oh, another one I've played a lot was Grim Dawn. Where are you? Right there, 600 hours in that. So I would be game to try it. Rhythm Doctor, that's going on the wish list. Yeah, Rhythm Doctor, it's very easy at the beginning, and what I showed you was part of the finale, but it was just so much more than what I expected, doing all that crazy stuff with the windows on the screen. A patron made me play it, Charmon. I don't think Charmon's ever done the sponsor tier for the Patreon. Did you play V Rising? I did. I actually beat it on Brutal. That was before they added the last update. It took me, I think, 7.5 hours to beat Brutal Dracula. We actually, Noxxi made a video remixing my deaths. Hold on a second. I will happily use this excuse to show this off. Let me see. So Noxxi took my 7 hours on this fight. Give it a sec.
An uninvited guest. Welcome to my realm of eternal night.
Alright, so he comes in. And she put this music over it, and every time I died, it was to a beat. But then, hold on, where's the part where I get good? Look at the death counter in the top left.
I am Vlad Dracula Tepesh, and I have had enough!
Come on. So she took some lines from the Castlevania series on Netflix and put it into this, and it came out so good. Can you play V Rising without doing any of the base building? You need to do a little bit. You could just make a box, but you need the crafting stations. But you can just like make a box and then put all the crafting stations in there. But you have to build a tiny bit. But you don't have to make like a big beautiful mansion or anything like that. But yeah, did clear V Rising, cleared it on Brutal, and made a positive review video about it too. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think of the 50 plus games I've done an Is It Worth It like game review for, the V Rising video is one of the most popular ones. Don't know if I'm ever going to use that gift of the high luck. We'll throw that in there. Did you play any Pokemon type tamer creature type of game? I played Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow when they came out. Years later, I played Pokemon Crystal and Pokemon Pearl. I don't remember the order of those. And I haven't really played one since. Ever since streaming? I mean, I haven't really missed it. So, no. Like, people have tried to get me in the Power World. I mean, I kind of like Pokemon, but it's not even, like, a big like. And I don't really like shooting games, so when people were like, Muck, Power World is like Pokemon, but with guns and sweatshops. I'm like, that just sounds worse than Pokemon. So, yeah, I haven't tried it. Power World is more like Enshrouded than Pokemon. For someone who likes summons and pets, thought you'd like it more. I disagree that it's like Pokemon with guns. Okay, well, I'm an outsider looking in, I guess. Did you play Hogwarts Legacy? Not at release, but much later on. I had a bunch of people in the community vote. So if any of you haven't seen it, if you do !game rec, I have a website where people can vote on games they want me to play. And Hogwarts Legacy ended up really high on there, so I was like, alright, fine. So, we played Hogwarts Legacy, and it was kind of fun. I mean, it was a bit, you know, cheesy, but it was kind of fun. I liked it more than not. Monster Hunter Wilds should be the next I tried. Dude, I just remember I played it for like 2 hours, and we hit like 17 problems in 2 hours, and I stopped, and I haven't opened it again since. What do you think about D2 Res? How much D2 did you play back in the game? All of it. I played D2 when it came out, and like every single day for a very long time after that. I played a ton of D2. I was very, very surprised that 26 years later it's getting a new class. But yeah, I played D1 when it came out. So yeah, I've played D2 and D3 and D4. D4. Not a fan. Yeah, I played a lot of D2. Many people consider D2 to be the best one in the franchise, and it was certainly very groundbreaking for what it was at the time it came out. Like, it is definitely what inspired things like Path of Exile and Grim Dawn, stuff like that. Do you still have a second monitor game? Not really. Yeah, I mean, there's been periods where I was like hooked on Clash of Clans or Fallout Shelter or Raid Shadow Legends, and I would just have it kind of going on another monitor. Haven't really done that in some time now. Tida? Check that. Why didn't you like D4? Hang on. D4, the skill tree was more shallow than D2. The choices were less than D3's rune system, so it was the worst of two worlds. The writing, this is pretty brutal, but I feel like the writing was done by people that didn't play the previous Diablo games. It didn't make sense. It did not make sense. Like, when they put the soul stone in that one guy's head and he turned into a demon like that. Like, it took like weeks or months for Diablo, the big guy, to corrupt Prince, was it Prince Leorc? And turn him, you know, into a vessel. But the weaker demon in D4 just instantly just transforms the guy, just plop right into his head like a light bulb. There was so many just plot holes and things like that that like just did not make any sense. It was like the more you knew about the franchise, the less sense it made. But yeah, rather than skill tree, I often told people that D4 had a skill twig. Because it's like you might get a second choice on some of the branches. That's it. The prince was built different. The prince was like 9. It was a child.
I'm listening.
But yeah, like, just to give you a few examples, you know, in D2, you had, like, a big skill tree, right? In D4, you have a smaller skill tree. Some of the branches, you have choices. Like, do you want your Hydra to have 3 heads or 4 heads? In D3, you could have a Fire Hydra, a Mammoth Hydra, an Electric Hydra, an Acid Hydra, an Arcane Hydra, like the Poison Hydra. Like, there was a lot of choices in D3. There was a lot more skill tree branches in D2. And D4 had the worst version of both. So, yeah, got bored really fast.
come to kill the Hydra Queen, have you? Well, if you come at the Queen, you had better not miss. After you meet Gren, be sure to tell him the Hydra Queen sent you.
Ha! You're kidding, right?
You're kidding, right? Oh my god. Help me, Jadebot. You're my only hope. I really like the look of the Necromancer females. In D4. Yeah, I think my playthrough of D4 on stream, I was playing a female Necro. Chat was calling her goth girlfriend. I liked it. No, that's totally fine if you like it. I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm trying to change your mind. You have to hate D4. I'm just saying I, as someone who's been playing the franchise since D1, I didn't care for it. It seemed like it looked awesome, right? The art, I'll say something nice. The art department killed it. It looked amazing. But the gameplay mechanics and the story had a lot to be desired from its predecessors. Bonk.
How could you?
Waiting for Mike to try Dragon's Dogma 1. I did. Then once enlightened by that flawed masterpiece, go retry DD2. I did. I played DD1 and DD2 on stream. Search for the dog. I played Dogma 1 for 26 hours before putting it down, and I played Dogma 2 for 23 minutes. No, wait, that's character creator. Oh, I think I refunded Dogma 2. Yeah, Dogma 2, I think we played for an hour or two, and then I put it down. Did you get the true ending? I didn't finish it. Alright, I'm gonna do my best to explain this. In Dragon's Dogma 1, there's a part of the game where there's like a big pit in the town. And you can like drop in the pit, and there's a bunch of ledges, and you can grab onto a ledge and stop there. And so it's kind of like an elevator in a weird way. And I got to a part where I had to collect 40 balls. And you could stop at these ledges and go into these areas, and there's enemies, and they would occasionally drop balls. And I was doing this, and after a couple of hours, I had gotten like 4. And I was like, this is taking forever, what the heck? And I kept wandering around, and I ended up running into this massive dragon. And I started trying to fight it, die, try again, die, try again, die. And chat's like, oh, that's a raid boss, you're not supposed to be here. Okay, so I left, and I went on my journey for balls some more, and kept running around, spent another hour or two on that, didn't find any more. And I was like, guys, this is so tedious. And I think it was Shugo was like, hey, I'll try to use my pawn to trade with you and give you some. And we tried getting that to work for like a week. Like we were trying different things each day for like a week. And then finally I gave up. So it's just... Waiting for balls to drop was the worst. It was terrible, yeah. But that was like the latest in a long line of frustrations with Dogma. But that was when I put it down. That was when I stopped. Dragon's Dogma 2, I played for a couple of hours. In those couple of hours, there was a moment when I was running down the beach, and one of my pawns, like, ran left into the shallow water and was running to my left in the shallow water, and then they died. Because the water kills you. So one, the water's lethal because they never wanted to render a swimming animation. Two, my pawn just pathed into the water and suicided. So I was like, okay. So I had to go back and get him again. And then another time, there was a hill, and I'm like, okay, the bottom of this hill, there's 3 goblins, there's 4 of us, we can handle this. I slid down the hill, start fighting, and they're 3v1ing me. And the last thing I see is I look back, and all my pawns are at the top of the cliff, and they're running in place, they're stuck. And they can't get down the hill, and they just watch me die. So I had times they wouldn't follow me, times where they just ran into water and suicided. There was... I remember the magic system. Like, the tutorial boss was like this Medusa thing, and my character was, like, had a wand, right? And he was just like... Whoosh, 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 whoosh. It reminded me of Elder Scrolls Online. The character looked like they had a stick, like, really far up their backside. And it just looked like the most boring magic system I had ever seen. So... yeah, and then there was this whole thing with a boulder, but yeah, it just, in like 2 hours, it was just frustration and annoyances, so I refunded that one.
Crud. Looks like those foul undead are taking over where Tida's crew hightailed.
Dragon's Dogma 1, we had a lot of other issues as well, but I just pushed past those, but the balls thing was when I stopped.
Bill, let's you and me take care of them. I've been itching to take on some of Zaitan's minions.
I got here in time for Muck Launch. What's up, Blue? I hope you enjoy.
There's only one surefire way to make it to retirement.
Chat, I've been trying to make myself like tea, and I have failed considerably. I have tried Earl Grey tea. Earl Grey, wow, pre-filled tears, nice. I've tried, what was it? There was one that was like raspberry or something. There was like apple cinnamon. I got a box of, was it chamomile? And I have tried the chamomile on its own with sugar, with brown sugar and cinnamon. By the way, don't recommend this. I don't know if it's the brown sugar or the cinnamon, but one of them is just heavier than water. It doesn't dissolve, it just sinks to the bottom. So there's just like sludge at the bottom if you do that. Oh, honey. And I hated all of these. All of these were just dirty water to me. Did you microwave the water? No, I boiled it in a kettle. Coffee, tea. I can't have coffee. The thing with tea in the box of the store is junk. You need loose leaf and to weigh it out. Not use teaspoon measure. It's a pain. I've tried hundreds of teas. The only natural one I love is Genmaicha. Americans have kettle? Thought it was a myth. I mean, if I was a bachelor, I would probably microwave the water. But my wife has a kettle, so I'll just use that. Got a kill on Keela. Nice, grats. Velru says, Muck, question regarding fashion templates. Is it possible to make my Equipment tab 1 show without a back piece, but Equipment tab 2 show with back piece? I think the checkbox for that is going to carry over between sets. Because the checkbox for showing your back piece is on your equipment screen, not on the fashion template. So I think you either check it for everyone, or you uncheck it for everyone, unfortunately. Mike, you did cinnamon wrong. You have to put the whole cinnamon sticks into the hot water. It flavors that way. Oh, okay. The only good tea is in the harbor. Let's see. Here's that. Peach or ginger tea is pretty good, or from other fruit teas. I would never microwave water. I mean, it's hot and it's boiling, either way, but that's not what I was doing. There's an item from seasonal events you could use to hide backpacks per equipment. You could buy it on Lion's Arches. Oh yeah, it's like the something cat backpack, right? If it boils. Oh, it does. I've done it in the past. Mark, what's your opinion on the warrior profession nowadays? They just got a change recently where their weapon swap is a 5-second cooldown instead of a 10, and that's huge. It feels very different to play now than it used to. Have you tried traditional Indian tea, aka chai tea? I have not tried that, no. There's a world boss going to be spawning here soon. Mike, do you know if there's a way to get around the Fractal for the Leggy Aqua Breather? Oh shoot. Wait, a Fractal? Hold on. Do you mean dungeon? A Fractal for the Legendary Aqua Breather. Any news on an expansion after VOE yet? Not that I know of, no. The only news I know of from the last few days was there was a thing they posted about changing the way that World v. World would be scoring points. But I honestly thought that such a small amount of people would care about this that I decided to just save my voice and I didn't make a news video on that. Make Gabe do the voiceover. Just use the pirate TTS again. Just put the whole patch notes into it, hit play, hit record. Wow. I thought he was gonna run around more. Whoa, legendary essence of luck. Oh my god. Mike, what's our opinion about the warrior? Oh, I already read that one. Mike, doing some achievement hunting? Not intentionally, it just happens. I was an achievement hunter back when I was a WoW addict, and I had so many achievement points that I quit before Pandaria, came back after Pandaria, and I still had more achievement points than most people. Like, because I was a raid leader, you know how there was, like, achievements like, you know, fight this boss without killing its ads, or fight this boss while hopping on one leg, you know, crap like that? Because I was the raid leader, I was like, we're doing this today. And people be like, oh, why? And I'm like, because I said so. So I just strong-armed my raid group into getting all of like the really hard to get raid achievements. So I had those and then also like everything else. So, but when I came to Guild Wars 2 though, like I was burnt out on that, right? So in this game, I've never achievement hunted. So that's how many points I have, and that's just without, like that's just what happened. Abuse of power, yeah. I mean, they got the achievements too, but they didn't care. Get those numbers up? No, I don't care. I know that there's quite a few folks that have like 40, 50k in this game. But no, it's 27. Earlier you said Sekiro lacked build variety, which is true. Yes. Yeah, in Sekiro, you are dude with sword. Hopefully you like that, because that's it. Muck, would you play the new chicken game? Is this the one that's like Chicken Souls? Yeah. Dude, this is like, how did they come up with it? You know what? I will show this on stream again. This was such a curveball when I first watched it. Okay, hold on. There's some gross bits.
Born of the goddess, you filthy creatures, faithless, soulless, unclean.
Oh god, it's Mordremoth.
Was never yours to keep. How dare you stand in the way of purity, little king?
They running now. It's a chicken. This is like when they made Pandaria and someone said it as a joke and they're like, you know what, let's make it go as hard as possible. You know, I said chicken souls. I think chicken of war is probably better because he's just winning. So it's like there's occasionally some strong guys that it's kind of a Souls fight, but then everything in between is just you mowing down thousands of people. Yeah. Chicken Little really grew up. He ain't clucking around. Top 2 comments. Yeah. That looks ridiculous. I would absolutely try that out. Bird People is playable race to Guild Wars 3. Yeah, yeah, that's the Guild Wars 3 Tengu. That right there. Mug, do you think you'll play the new God of War? I didn't know there was another one coming out. I played Dad of Boy and Dad of Boy 2. Those are the only God of Wars I've played. So I played the last 2. So if they make more, I'm currently caught up. No one doing Mega Destroy right now. All right. Actually, I might just be here early. Oh, that's a fun one. Let's see about that. Do you think it's bad that we haven't heard any news about a new expansion? I don't think it's bad, but it does make me, like, I don't think it's like, oh no, I should be worried, but I think it's, oh, I'm curious, what are they cooking? Because they're doing something, right? And it's like, okay, well, 3 years in a row, they made a small expansion. If they're not doing that, are they making Guild Wars 3? Are they going to announce that? But, I'll remind you guys that when Silksong was announced, we had to wait 6 years to play it. So let's pretend, let's use our imaginations and say that they say, you know what? We're not making another Guild Wars 2 expansion because we're working on Guild Wars 3. And everyone's like, woo, yeah, amazing. Chat, how many years do you think until it's ready? Do you think we're getting Guild Wars 3 this year? I don't. I think if they announce it, we're going to be waiting. So, you know, that's kind of where my head's at. Like, okay, let's pretend that they do say we're cooking Guild Wars 3. How long are we waiting for it? 1 year, 2, 3, 5, 8? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, none of us know, but that's the number one thing on my head. Now, if they're working on something, I'm completely okay with not getting another Guild Wars 2 expansion this year. Obviously, I want more content, but I would understand if they're working on something else. When Guild Wars 2 announced, when Guild Wars 2 was announced, it came out 5 years later. Yeah. I mean, hell, like Ashes of Creation was announced a while back, and at its current rate, it'll never come out. Too soon. They're gonna announce the next expansion. Hot Style will be the last Gears 2 expansion. Maybe. Maybe they're gonna finish off with like something big. I think another thing that's kind of fun to talk about is, okay, so I'm sure some of you have played games where like a continuation, like a sequel came out for a game, but the original game was still online, right? Like Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 are both out right now. You can play both. But Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 is like, there's hundreds of years between them, right? Let's say they are making Guild Wars 3. What time period do you think it's in? Like, if they make Guild Wars 3 and Guild Wars 2's servers are still on, when is it? Is it going to be just 50 years in the future? 100? 300? That's something that makes me very curious. Guild Wars 40k? Ow. 40,000 years in the future. Yes. Yes. The Adeptus Assurites. Yes. I know what class I'm playing. So stupid. Guild Wars Modern Warfare. Sir, the Char have destroyed a second tower. No. Chars in space. I know Holomanians was a thing, but I don't like the idea of starting a new MMO over. Would it even be an MMO? In my opinion, Guild Wars 1 is not an MMO. It's an ARPG. Guild Wars 2 is an MMO. Guild Wars 3 could be something different. I'll remind you guys that sometimes you have games that come out with something that expands the game's universe, but it's a completely different genre. Right? You've got Fallout, which is a first-person open-world survival game, and you've got Fallen Shelter. Kind of a silly little mobile game, but it's fun. I enjoyed it, but it's a silly little game. You can play it on Steam or on mobile, and you're just designing a shelter from the ground up. You've got the Witcher series, and then you've got Gwent, which is the card game played in the background of the Witcher series. You know, but the people on the cards are like major characters from the game. So they could make a Guild Wars 3 that's not an MMO. I mean, it might be an MMO, but they could make something that's not an MMO and it's just completely different. And it just expands the universe. Thank you for the guides you make on YouTube. Very easy to understand and are hilarious. Thank you for the kind words. You are my target audience. If they were to do Guild Wars 3, they would need something like Hall of Monuments. I have said that before. I think one of their big wins was the Hall of Monuments that connects Guild Wars 1 and 2. And if you do stuff in 1, you get rewards in 2 that do not impact gameplay, but it also breathes life back into 1. Like, how... Is there anyone here who has gone back and played some Guild Wars 1 specifically because of the Hall of Monuments? I did a little bit. I don't know if anyone else has. I don't know that it's a large number of people, but it's a good system for getting people to try the predecessor. And I think if they've got, if they make a Guild Wars 3, I think that having the Hall of Monuments connected to it is a very important thing. So that if you do anything in Guild Wars 1 or 2, it should unlock some stuff in 3. Even if it's cosmetic. Because obviously, if you start Guild Wars 3, and if it's an MMO and you start in full Leggy armor or something, that would be too much. But let's say you had Leggies in Guild Wars 2, maybe you can unlock them as cosmetics in Guild Wars 3. Suddenly sounding like a dad in church, I apologize. That one snuck up on me. I tried to lean away from the mic. Anyway, yeah. They do need to connect them. I think that'd be good, because in the future, there'll be people playing Guild Wars 3, and then they'll come back and try Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 for, like, unlocks and achievements. What's the benefits of the Hall of Monuments? It's mostly cosmetic. Basically, if you do achievements in Guild Wars 1, you unlock titles and cosmetic outfits, and ranger pets that are the same stats as other pets, so that they're not more powerful. But you get like, for example, if you see a ranger that has a Black Widow pet, you're like, whoa, that guy did a lot of cool stuff in Guild Wars 1. Or if you see someone with the God Walking Amongst Mere Mortals achievement, you're like, whoa, that guy did everything in Guild Wars 1. Stuff like that.
The storm will reach us soon, and battle we must.
Mini orange chat? No. Are there any reverse situations in the hall? Like if we start Reforged after 2? Not at the moment. There's nothing you get in Guild Wars 1 that is earned from Guild Wars 2. It's just you unlock stuff in 1 and then you get it in 2. As a new player in terms of cosmetics in Guild Wars 2, do you think they would carry that over to Guild Wars 3? I would hope so. I don't know if it would be all of them, because there's thousands of them in the game. The only company I know of to make an endeavor like that was Path of Exile. Path of Exile, any cosmetic you bought in the first game, you would also get in the second as their goal. And that's a massive undertaking. But if they did it, that would be cool. But the thing is like, okay, let's say, hold on, I'm making up a situation. Let's say you have bought a skiff skin with real money, because you like boats. And then in Guild Wars 3, we don't get a skiff. Right? There's no equivalency there. But if it's like, you bought a wizard hat in 2, and then you could get a wizard hat in 3 also, then that might not be that difficult. So, there's going to be a case-by-case basis. They could add new races and classes. Yeah, in my time playing this game, I think the #1 thing I've seen people ask for is either Tengu or Koden. Or Skrit, but I'm not sure if they're joking or not. You know what? I got just over 2 minutes before this pops. Hang on a minute. I'm going to put my dishes from lunch away so that my office doesn't look like Asmongold's. I will be back.
The storm roars on the horizon. Collect yourselves.
Okay, I am back. Chip was by a set of blinds and was yelling at me, so I opened the blinds for him so he could get some sunbeams. Let's see. I would love a new Guild Wars. At the same time, I'd feel really bad for those with thousands of hours and stuff they worked on being behind and such. But that's something for all games. Yeah, that just happens. That just happens. The big thing, I feel like the less dangerous, the least dangerous thing they could do would be if they do make a new Guild Wars game, but it's not multiplayer. It's some kind of like a Tales game. You know, like Tales from the Borderlands? Like it's like a Tales game, or it's a mini game, like how, you know, like Gwent was, or something like that. That would not divide the player base, and I think that would be fine. But if they do make it multiplayer and they're trying to be it like always online or something, then I feel like you've got more things to consider. Because what people would you stop interrupting me, you damn bear? Anyway, so what's going to happen if both of them are permanently online games is they're going to need to try to keep both of them interesting without dividing their player base between the two. So, like, if they make a new MMO, for example, you're going to have people that will, on day one, be comparing the new MMO to year 15 or whatever that Guild Wars 2 is on, with all its expansions. They'd be like, oh my god, there's so much less content. Well, yeah, Guild Wars 2's been out for a long time. So that's when it gets difficult. Do you think is Guild Wars 2.5 like a game overhaul? I doubt it. Will he live? Nope, he's dead. Hey. Oh, sorry for the sniffles. I should have blown my nose while I was up. Do you think it's Guild Wars 2.5 like a game overhaul? I kind of doubt that they would do that. Like it's possible. It's possible they could do something like that. Like that, I don't think that would be something we'd pay for, right? That would just be like a big patch. I mean, or like a feature. Let's see, I'm trying to think. I can think of two examples. I don't remember which expansion, but I do remember there was a expansion of World of Warcraft where they redid how all the player characters looked. But I think even people that didn't buy that expansion ended up getting that graphic update. The other example I can think of was EverQuest. When the Luklin expansion came out, they redid how all the player models looked. And when that happened, but then you got the choice of use the old models or use the new models. And, you know, like, EverQuest's original graphics are kind of like old school RuneScapes, you know, it's very archaic. But, like, the redo models certainly looked better. But you could choose to use them or not. But that was, like, features of an expansion. It's like, you know, like, this expansion, we got new elite specs. Imagine an expansion where one of the new features is a graphic overhaul for all of the original races or something like that. Now, should they do that? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud based on my own experiences. But is it possible? Sure. I don't think they would make a new Guild Wars game and then like you have to pay for it for that unless it's just part of an expansion. I went to Chella's stream earlier, someone donated 4 stacks of ambergris for his Orion Leggy challenge. Those poor whales. Those poor whales. Chella's great. I don't know where he gets the funds to do all those giveaways. He's crazy. In a good way. Oh no! That was close. I was animation locked. Mace 3 locks me in place for a second, and that was a bad moment for that. Keston, thank you for the prime. That's a huge help. Thank you, thank you. He's a doctor in France. He's a doctor with a month off work? I ain't never met a doctor with a month off work. Also, we've known him since he was in med school. He was doing giveaways like this when he was in med school. He's like a back alley doctor. Yeah, I'll find you a new kidney. That'll be $10 billion. Mass res. But yeah, this whole conversation started with someone said, do you think they're doing another expansion? And at this point, I don't know, because, I mean, we don't have a lot of precedent, but the last couple years, they told us what the next expansion was going to be by now. So, at this point in time, I am guessing we're not getting another mini expansion late this year. Fine. If that's the case, I'm curious what they're working on. I would like to see an announcement on that. Whether it's Guild Wars 3 or Tyrion Fight Tactics, you know, just some other mini thing. I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious what they're doing. Oh wow, 1% health. Hello. Would they spend so much on creator collabs with WoW streamers just to stop development with no new expansions? Oh, I never said they were to do any more expansions. But like, let's say they're doing another big one, right? Let's say they're doing another Heart of Thorns or another Path of Fire, and they're like, this is going to be a huge expansion, and it'll come out in 3 years. I'd be like, all right, you know, like that's in my head, that's fine. Whether you agree or disagree with that is just going to depend on the individual. But I just want to know. Oh, I got punched. Jadebot. Could be an expansion that upgrades Guild Wars 2 into 3. Yeah, do I just hack another number on the end? Yeah, Overwatch did that. That worked out pretty well. Oh, that's kind of funny. I was rezzing that guy, and then she forcibly mounted me. That's a line. And so it interrupted the res. Yeah, on the topic of like other games in the universe, I'm reminded of League of Legends. I think they closed it, but they had a section of their company that was making other games such as Ruined King, Hextech Mayhem, There was one related to Nunu. But they made like a lot of like little games that were like, for example, we played Ruined King, and it was a lot like playing Battle Chasers. Big res! Big res! Oh! So good. Nice! Slash map. GG! Oh my gosh, what a troll. She did one more thunderclap and downed like 5 more people after it was over. I would rather see the upgrading yours 3 more so than a whole new MMO. The question would simply be like, what would that entail? Like, when I think of like, if Guild Wars 2 is not my perfect game, what would make it closer to perfection? And all the things I would want them to add to it do not require like a whole systems overhaul. So I'm not sure what they would do. Oh, they said Levy is up. What's up, big fella? Ow. Glad I've got lifesteal even underwater. God, it's been a while since I've done an underwater fight. Having to remember my my buttons. Oh, this works. I don't have to use movement keys. He's pushing me along with him. Just need to sit on the back of his head next time. Lazier. I just realized, does this build set have Salaki Morpho equipped? It does. Where's my fins? Where's my fish fins? What the heck? There they are. That was weird. I was like, should my legendary rebreather have like shark fins and stuff? There they go. Unchecked. No, it wasn't unchecked, but it was being weird. I had to turn it off and back on again. Because, like, the mask was displaying, but the rest of the stuff wasn't. Ow. Whoa, lag spike. Major lag spike. Oh my god, it's like 6 weeks shipping on that bonk. Glad we had already finished with the big boss. Have you ever had a haircut? No, this is as long as it's grown in all my years on this mortal coil. Yes, I've had a haircut. I had that same issue today too. Had to uncheck and check the box. Weird. I was one of the newbies that got convinced to try Guild Wars 2 by these YouTubers a few months ago. I bought all the expansions and suddenly these same YouTubers and streamers won't shut up about Guild Wars 3 and Guild Wars 2 was a pile of spaghetti code that couldn't scale at the end game. Well, Jam, you just leave those YouTubers behind and you just come hang out with our YouTubers. Guild Wars 2 is a great game, and if you've never played it, you have got a mountain of fun stuff to do for a very affordable price. And you can put it down and come back to it as often as you wish to. But, yeah, will Guild Wars 3 happen? Maybe. But I think if it does, we've got a few years before it does. I think we've got a while yet. Alright, almost out of time. Let's clean some of this up. Don't have that one, apparently. If Guild Wars 3 will be a very different game, quite a few people still hang around Guild Wars 2. I mean, as a Guild Wars 2 content creator, I could probably play both. It depends on what's going on, right? Like, let's say, let's take Path of Exile, for example. Zizaran is the biggest Path of Exile content creator whose name I know. And he will still do videos on PoE 1 and PoE 2, depending on which one has newer content coming out for the game. Occasionally, when I'm feeling nostalgic, there's one YouTuber I watch who covers Dungeon Defenders. And depending on which one's gotten the most recent update, he will do videos on Dungeon Defenders 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever the other one's called. So I think, like, they're not going to put out so much content that you can't visit both from time to time. You're not going to have to choose one or the other. Awakened? Yeah, Awakened, that's it. That's the one. Let's see, sell that. Sell that. Okay, that is done. Alright. Yep. Getting that legendary luck from the world boss that we got it from earlier. That is only the second one of these I've ever looted. I didn't even know it was possible to loot that from a world boss. Let's throw all this in here. I'll process this on my artificer later. That frees up some space. Saving luck for a legendary. I am capped out on the magic find that you can get from eating luck because I've played the game for so many years. So saving it for literally anything else. There's nothing else that I could do with it. Or there's nothing more I can gain from consuming it, is what I mean. There's a cap. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you hit H and you go to achievements at the bottom right, it says magic find. And if you mouse over that, it says from luck 300. That's max. That's the most you can get from luck specifically. Without that, like, you can go above that, but not from eating luck. Current festival, yeah, I could turn it into gold at the current festival. It's not a lot. Like, a year's worth of luck is like 100 gold. But yes, you can do that. Let's see. I'm not capped. Should I be using luck or craft for saving? My usual advice with luck is save 1 stack of the orange quality, like this. Save 1 stack of this, because there's a lot of weird projects where you just need a stack. And if you haven't been saving it, it's a pain. But I usually advise people save 1 stack of the orange luck in the bank, just in case, and then eat all the rest. Nom 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 nom. And if you end up doing any legendary project or a guild hall upgrade or something that requires a stack of luck, you've got it. You've already got it. That's what I usually tell folks to do. Let's see. Mithril. What's the cap percent? From eating luck, the cap is 300. With, like, tons of buffs and getting it as high as you can go. God, I never remember. They redid the luck system recently. And I'm trying to remember what the new cap is. 750. So you could get up to 750 using temporary bonuses. But from eating luck, you can go up to 300. How do you have 3K slots in inventory? 3K slots in inventory? I don't. I have 490. Oh, wait, you mean in the material storage? You're talking about on this screen? There's a thing that is in the gem store occasionally, in the gem store that is called Material Storage Expander. And every time you get it, it increases the size of your material storage. And I have gotten it, basically anytime it was on sale, I picked one up and it just adds up. I'm at 3K per thing now. Ooh, gold per stack. Oh, that's it. Full up. All right. Well, with that, it is 2 on the dot. So that works out beautifully. All right. Chat, with that, I'm afraid I'm out of time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you had fun. Hope I answered all the questions. As always, if you happen to be new here, my name is Muck. I stream every evening and every weekday morning. I'll be back in about 5 hours on the Guild Wars 2 section of Twitch again. If you wish to join me then, if you're on Twitch, hit the follow button. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. Here's links to my 2 YouTube channels in the chat. And a very special thank you to our patrons who keep me in business. Could not do this without their help. There's a link to that in the chat if you want to be a supporter. Shilling complete. Thank you for listening. I'm going to raid someone on the Twitch side of things just to support someone else. Oh my god, Loranity is on wow, that's very early for her. I'm gonna raid Laura. We try to hit each other up when we can, and she's rarely on time. I'll see you guys over there, and use your raid emotes if you got a favorite one, and I will be back tonight. Yeah.
Somebody would DM me on Discord, and they were like, Lara, you have to see this. Oh, hold on. Also, y'all, oh, gold. Whoa! We just got a massive